Yeah, somewhere.
All right, we are live. Welcome to Tone Talk with Marc Huzansky and Dave Friedman. How you guys doing? Everybody doing tonight? Dave, how are you?
I'm still sweating from running over here.
Oh, George.
I'm okay. I'm doing good.
I physically ran behind Dave's car with beers.
Just a little
like,
bit.
Dave,
you were holding the alcohol. So we had a slight delay tonight. Everybody, apologize. We had this grand idea of being able to do this all at a bar. Well, I wasn't going to be there at the bar, but Dave, Pete, and George were going to be at the bar and hanging out, and it just didn't work, unfortunately, technically. So we had to abandon ship, and they went back to the studio, back to Dave's office and your studio, Pete, and
we're just all in separate rooms here.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very good.
We're all in the same spot, but we're talking differently.
This way we don't get.
And we were a little more delayed because, of course, we left the bar and we had high hopes of having drinks, but so we had to stop and get some drinks on the way back to the shop. So.
And Dave made me run behind the car with the drinks.
Yeah, today we're featuring Fortaleza Tequila. Very good tequila, in case anyone is interested.
Look at that.
My favorite generally is the Reposado, but they didn't have that, so we went with the Blanco.
Well, delicious Blanco.
Let's do a cheers to start.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Very nice.
We lost someone. Pete's phone's not very good, is it?
He may have gotten a message or something. Or he went to
he has T-Mobile, and I was thinking of switching, but maybe that's not the case.
Actually, I do too.
Oh, never mind. Then it's just him. He's cursed with gear, generally speaking, anyway. So, which we can talk about when he comes back.
We can actually talk about him, and he can hear us.
Oh, he's back. There he is.
There you go.
Are you there, Pete?
You there? Hello?
Can you hear us?
We see you. We can't hear you.
Oh, he's gone again.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, I don't know what's going on.
We'll just keep plugging away. So, George, you had a big couple days.
Yes. Very excited.
Yeah. So the A6 video came out, right, for Cairo Knife Fight.
Finally.
Oh, were you waiting for a while for it to come out?
Well, the typical cat and mouse game of the music industry, all these labels that were very interested in the band, and everyone was just couldn't give us an answer. So we finally got fed up and we're like, screw it, we're going to do it ourselves. And we signed a worldwide distribution deal. And then Warner Brothers came out like, wait, no, we're going to actually pick up the option on Cairo Knife Fight. And so we're releasing this too.
Oh,
so
good.
then we, which was a blessing, but then we had to wait to do all the signing on the dotted line stuff. So finally it came out, but I'm very excited about it. And we got amazing reception from like the first few hours. So,
yeah,
this is the first song that I'm a member of the band that's seen to the world. And it's the first Cairo Knife Fight song that's actually released to the world, because they're huge. And Nick says hates when I say huge, but the first Cairo Knife Fight gig I did in New Zealand, there was a damn billboard on the side of a building of Cairo Knife Fight. To me, that's huge.
Right.
But he hates he hates when I say that. But they've got a lot. When you're walking down the airport and people go, Cairo Knife Fight, you guys rule. That's a lot bigger than here. So
that's awesome.
It's a blessing that they picked up the option and they released it out there as well. But this is the first time that the world actually gets Cairo Knife Fight at the same time. So we're very excited.
Well, congrats. Hey, Pete, can we hear you? Can we hear you all right? I hear you like down the hall. You're muted for some reason. I see that you're
all right.
Your sound is muted.
Maybe he should go in with you, George, and share a headphone. Share a headphone
actually,
with you
probably,
or something.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Because that'll be maybe easier. If that.
Or you know what I'm gonna try? I'm gonna try unplugging my headphone and see how good it sounds because there's no noise in here.
Right.
Give it a shot.
Try it.
I'll try that.
Technical difficulties, everyone. So bear with us. And
Yeah.
And I have no idea. I'm not even signed in to the see questions or who's on really. So I guess I should do that.
I'm in there, and we've got a lot of people. Thanks. I'll just write something. Thanks for joining.
Hey, Mark, can you hear me without the headphone thing?
I can. It's a little low, but I can hear you.
Okay. Well, Pete, if you want to come in here.
Yeah, just get it closer to you or something, or wherever the mic is, or wherever it is.
And then I can plug in, and we won't have problems with power either.
Hey, that's fine. Yeah, as long as you're kind of close to it, it's fine. I don't think there's a issue.
Okay.
Okay. So
how about now, guys?
Oh, there you are.
Now?
Yes.
Hey.
Did you figure it out?
Yes.
Well, I think what you got to do, and I don't see myself. So you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, don't pop up on the screen when I'm talking. I don't know why, but as long as you say you can hear me, it's cool. This mic sucks, though. God, I can see these things are terrible. Don't buy the Sony shitty.
Is yours Sony? Because mine's Sony. Mine's okay.
These are horrible.
But no, I can hear you. I can hear. But
okay.
When you come through, actually, when you talk, it changes to your screen. So you might not see it, but it actually does.
You don't see it on your own screen, Pete.
Oh, okay. Okay, fine. Well, I think I'm back up and running here then.
You are back, and we all hear you. And you missed the cheers, so let's cheers.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
I just have water tonight. I'm taking a lightweight tonight.
All right.
That's
cheers,
not allowed,
everybody.
Mark.
Cheers, everybody. I
nice
know.
To be here with you.
I know.
By the way, that's bad luck.
To drink water?
Yeah, I've heard that story 1,000 times on the road. I don't know if it's true or not.
Wow, I don't want bad luck. I can go grab a beer.
So because we already had some bad luck. So see, there you go. You started it.
Well, then let me
have a beer, Mark.
I'm gonna have to go get some alcohol. You guys hold the fort. Then I'll be right back.
How's things looking back there? How's things looking back there in the shop, Dave? Everything cool?
Everything's good. I have Barry sitting here next to me listening to it and delayed. And
who's Barry? No one knows
Barry.
Who Barry is.
Barry can slide in front of the screen and say hi.
Hi, Barry.
I'm here. All right.
Barry's the maestro of
Soundcheck Live,
right? Soundcheck Live.
Soundcheck Live, yes. He was the Barry's unemployed at the moment, though, so but
welcome to my world.
But yeah, right.
Sort of.
So, well, yeah, until later in the summer, right?
Yeah, well, it's the life of the musician. We are independent contractors, right?
Who are you going out with in the summer, Pete?
Actually, I don't know if I should say yet because I don't know if the thing's been announced. So I have to be careful. But it's just a show. It's just a single show. So yeah, so we'll see.
Well, I have 5 shows that I know of.
That's good.
Ooh.
Are they all in the U.S. or are they?
Let's see, twice in North Dakota, 2 in Hawaii, and 1 in. We're playing Rock in Rio in Rio de Janeiro.
Well, that doesn't suck. Hawaii and Rio, that's cool. And hey, shout out to North Dakota. You're okay too.
No, hey, Adam EVH. No, not Scotch tonight. It was tequila. I think you missed that part.
Yeah, it was tequila, and I just got
tequila.
I just grabbed my IPA.
Oh, well, hey, that's a good one.
Now you can cheers.
Now we'll cheers. All right.
All right. One more time.
One more time.
I think your wife just said drink up. So.
Did my
cheers?
She saw me running back into the room with my beer.
Come by.
So we have a tequila in a wine glass, which is not very good, and we have a Duval beer also. So
I'm doing Sapporo, which I honestly hate beers.
Why'd you buy it?
No. I love Sapporo, and for some reason, this can, the way it's made, it keeps the beer so cold that it's wonderul.
Oh wow!
I don't know the science, but it actually is one of my favorite beers to drink. Pete, when you've been to Japan, did you Tokyo? Did you do in the lounge the beer machine that tilts and pours everything for you?
No, I've never
Oh
seen
my
that. What's that?
God, it's
Yeah,
the
what
best
is
thing in the world. So
I mean, I had the most amazing toilet ever in my room. That's like, and all,
yeah,
where you're like, I gotta buy it. I don't care what this costs. I'm selling 5 guitars to get this thing and put it. But it's
Toilets
like
are
the best thing
legendary
ever.
there.
they
Yeah,
are.
but this one was like, I mean, it had like an air dryer for your butt. You know, like
Yeah.
it was insane.
My
It was
wife
insane.
actually bought me that for Christmas this year.
Come on, you're not serious.
I'm serious. I haven't had the time to install it, but I do have it.
Dude,
There
that's
you
a
go.
good woman.
You gotta go to George's house, Pete.
Come
That's
dry your
amazing.
butt anytime you want.
How did you find that kind of lady? Oh, I'm very impressed.
Well, that's number one in Tokyo, other than the Guitar Row, which is amazing. I'm sure you've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Ochanomizu is
Yeah.
a day excursion every time.
yeah, it's so cool. But in the lounge, when you get and wait in the airport, they have this machine that you literally grab a cup from the fridge, you put it on there,
Right.
and you press a button. It tilts the cup, pours the perfect beer, and it's
Right.
either Kirin, Sapporo, or Ichiban. Oh my God! And it's to die for. And that's what
awesome.
that's what
Wow.
got me onto Japanese beers. And I'm my favorite of all time. It's a weird one. You can't find it anywhere. Is Kirin Light.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
Japan is kind of like it's like a better planet in many ways. It's like you
Yeah.
go there and you go, wow. It's like, how do you get 25 million people to all live in a small enclosed space on top of one another and be completely civilized? And there's great food and everything works better. And there's a beer machine like that and a toilet
And a
a
toilet.
toilet with the bidet that then dries your ass after. So it's fantastic.
and it is
It's
amazing.
I need to get to Japan.
Yes.
I have not.
Oh, dude, you gotta go. You won't believe it. It's the best thing ever.
I
Wow.
say
When
this
I was
all-
in Japan, I didn't have that toilet.
what?
Oh,
I don't
what?
think so. Not that I remember.
Man,
I was
you were
gypped.
working. Yeah, you were working too hard.
mine the remote was actually on the wall beside, like it was
Yeah.
like so it's like a screen on the wall.
Yeah.
That's like almost like an iPad or something, and then you're like punching in the, oh my God, you can do this and you can do that. You can just spend like an hour in there. Like,
Yeah.
That's cool.
well, that's too much information.
Hey, you know what? The funny, the funny thing, George. Hey, like in the little screen on our screen, we see your whole face, but when it goes to the big screen, it cuts your bottom jaw off. You see that? We
Hold
only
on.
get your mustache up, so I don't
How's
know.
that? How's that?
That's good.
That works better. Perfect. There we go.
Yeah, that's good. There you go.
I
And
was
Pete-
going like, I don't know. Yeah.
Pete, we can
I
see
gotta
you.
say
You're right.
something.
It cuts your head off just a little bit.
No,
but-
you're fine, Pete. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're good.
Oh, am I
There we
good?
go.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're
Yeah.
good.
There we go.
All right, cool, man. Everything's working. We got 52 viewers right now live.
Hi guys.
The chat is
Hello.
on fire. We've got tons of people. Mully is in the house because he's super interested. You guys are talking about Japan. He lives in Japan, so
Love it.
Oh.
I'm sure he's talking. He's always posting videos of himself driving in Japan for us Americans and everything, which is super cool.
Hey, Pete, I think you know a little Japanese, don't you?
Mhm.
Are you gonna make me do it?
Mully might appreciate this, maybe, or maybe he's going to be offended. I'm not exactly sure, but yes, I'm going to make you do it.
Arigato, Molly. Tama namate. Yeah, that guy's either like really offended right now, or he's
I think he
happy. He's laughing really hard. One of the two.
Well,
since we have-
hopefully we'll see in a minute here.
Yeah, we'll see what he said. He said, "Do it." Wait, go for it. Wait.
Somehow I'm watching the chat, and somehow my chat's not updating very well here.
Oh no. Yeah, on the phone sometimes it's not as great. It takes a little bit of time. Mully is cool with it, they said. But yeah, we got
But Mully, you know what he said, right?
What?
no. He said almost. Mully said almost.
Does he have,
he
to,
didn't get
does
it.
he have to say it again?
Wait, Pete just called Mully a wash up in Japanese. Someone just
I'll tell you how the story came about. I was in Hiroshima in a bar, and the bartender's like, okay, at the gig tomorrow, when you play a guitar solo on stage, you have to say, Arigato tamanamate. Okay, and I was like, okay, what's that mean? And let's see if Molly got it this time.
Sure. Lick my balls, he said.
Yeah.
There we go. You got it.
I've got other terrible ones. すみません。あなたの大きいおいしいお尻、持ってきてください。お願いします。We'll see if he gets that.
Oh man. I hope Yoshi's not watching.
So I mean, he spent. He'll get a kick out of it.
I know. That's funny.
Yoshi,
anyway,
laugh.
We should move on. This is bad.
Okay.
No, it's good. It's good. This is good stuff.
So
Time for another drink.
I got a great Japan story.
Let's go for it.
Oh, cool.
But it makes me look like an ass, but it's fine. So we one of the times that we were down there touring, the label took us out to this restaurant. We all wanted sushi, so they took us to a sushi restaurant. They said this is one of the best ones here. Oh, okay, cool. So I look at the picture because they left us there because the P's, the four frontmen and woman went to do press, and they left the band at this restaurant. They said, look, anything you want, it's on us. We'll come back after the press. And okay, cool. So no one there spoke English, so all we had was those menus with the pictures on it. And so I saw something that looked like Kobe beef, and I was like, man, that looks good. That's what I want. And so I ordered that and ordered a bunch of other stuff, and I ate it, and it was amazing. I was like, oh, can I have another one of these? She said, okay, and she giggled. and she walked away, and I thought that was kind of odd, so she brought it back. I ate it again. I was like, can I get another one? She giggled again. I was like, what am I? So I asked someone, am I saying something wrong? We're like, man, we don't know. We can't speak to anyone here. So label comes back, and I asked them, it's like, hey, why do they keep giggling me when I ordered this? And they're like, oh, that's horse.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
horse.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's great. Give me 2 more.
There you go.
Hey,
It was amazing. But apparently it's funny that I was just kept eating horse. Raw horse.
There's a horse
Raw
meat
horse.
restaurant that was
Raw
right
horse.
behind.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a horse meat restaurant that was right behind my hotel. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to go in once, and somebody was like, that's horse. Like, that's what they do there. And I was like, oh, okay. Don't need to go there.
Yeah, that's
It was great. It
was
honestly was great. Yeah.
But it was raw, like
Raw
like
horse. Yeah,
Wow.
you know how a Kobe beef comes over here or
Yeah,
anywhere
yeah.
else where you put it on the really hot rock,
Mhm.
and you put the raw horse on the rock, you cook it, and then you eat it. It's really,
okay.
really, really thin.
I got you. It's okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna cook it yourself. I got you.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah,
I
it
love
really
Yeah.
was good.
I love Japanese barbecue places too. They
So
have
Pete, now you got to go and you got to try.
Well, I've had a lot of funky. I mean, like not funky, but you go there and you tend to eat a lot of things that you might not Oh, sorry about that.
There we go.
Checked up. Am I back?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you tend to eat a lot of things that you might not, but I had like some crazy stuff. Like I was out for dinner one night with label and publishing people and stuff, and somebody said, this is my favorite thing, you got to try this. And it was like kind of purplish pink, and it was cold, and I ate it, and the texture was kind of like, I was like, what is this? And they're like, it's raw eel, and it's been cured in soy sauce overnight. And I was just like, oh man. And then at the same, so you're like, I can't do that. Like, and then, like just a lot of different stuff like that. I think the first time I had tongue was that night, and that's no big deal. But, a lot of things like you can have one meal where it's like, geez, I tried 3 things tonight I've never had before. And a couple of them were pretty funky, but it's great, expand your horizons. Why not?
Yeah.
My wife would be in for any of that.
Yeah, mine
Yeah.
too. Mine too.
Yeah, I mean, she'd be like, yep, mm-hmm, yep. I'm in.
You know what they serve down here in Florida? Alligator. You ever have that?
I've had that.
I've actually had great alligator.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
That's pretty normal. I mean, that's pretty reasonably normal. I mean, I don't.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's not really.
I grew up. My grandmother lived in Florida for a million years, so down in Marco Island. So,
okay.
All growing up, I went there a million times, and I had alligator a few times. So, yeah.
I'm coming in your room for a minute, Dave, because I'm looking for my my charger, which I left somewhere.
Over here. You left it in here.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
There we go.
So the backstory for people who are watching this, just so people who are watching and didn't know, is that originally the plan was that Dave, George, and Pete were going to be at a bar, hanging out, drinking, but technically that didn't work. So now they're all in the same place, just sitting in different rooms.
Because just so that
all
everyone
drinking
knows,
the same stuff.
yeah. If we sit together, there's this horrible echo.
Yeah.
And right now we're all blaming it on Pete.
The mic pick up each other, and then it creates this weird loop.
But we're
Or at least
professionals.
Pete's mic does.
We're professionals. We sorted it out. My $25 mic sucks. That's right, but we're making it work. We're making the gig.
Hey,
right
you
now.
know what?
That's
Your mic sounds fine when you're by yourself. So it works
Yeah.
fine in a car or something.
You can return it tomorrow.
Maybe it's just omnidirectional. That's a technical term, folks.
There you go.
Ah.
Maybe you need a ribbon mic for your headset.
For our Google Hangouts.
Yeah. Well, Dave, maybe you can do a mod on it if you.
Oh yeah, I could probably do a mod on. Actually, I was sitting here thinking, like, Barry was like, "Can I listen to this?" And it's going to be delayed when I listen. And I'm like looking at my little string here with my headset thing, and I'm like going, if I cut this off, I can separate the wires. But I'm liable to cut right through it, though. So I decided that wouldn't be the best choice.
See, I knew
those headphones, dude.
That's
What I actually have to do is set it up, which I haven't tried yet, but Mark and we have to try this one day. I'll set it up through my interface here, and I think I can do the same thing with like a mic and a good set of headphones or something.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how I have it set up here with this microphone.
Yeah, exactly. You got the little Rode mic, right?
It's actually the Blue
mic. Sorry.
Yeah.
Plug. Sorry, Rode. Actually, here's the plug for Blue. There you go.
There you go. Exactly. We got the Blue mic right here, and it's a USB. It works good.
And we may as well, while we're at it, plug the bar that we were going to do it from, the other door in North Hollywood.
I was just about to say that.
It was going to be cool, but it didn't happen. Their internet just didn't cut it. So
what was the
great bar? Nice selection of alcohol, but slow internet. So don't expect to do any Google Hangouts there.
Yeah,
no, not going to happen.
And what was the name of the bar?
The Other Door.
The Other Door.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's too bad. One day we'll figure it out. We're gonna have to figure it out when we go to Summer NAMM.
So I'm gonna go back to food for a second, Pete.
Yeah.
China.
Never been. Heard a lot of stories, and I'm not.
Okay, I'll leave it right there.
I'd love to go there. I'm sure you got some good ones. Man.
Wait, I'll be right back.
Okay.
No, it's not good. It's what we know of as Americans. Well, you're Canadian, but me growing up here, when you think Chinese food, that is not what Chinese food is. So you go over there. They have no fried rice. They have no anything that you eat here. Everything comes in Jello.
What is it in China?
Is gelatin. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Because it's a gelatin based.
Almost a delay.
That's their really high end food is all gelatin based. And I'm saying this wrong, and my wife is gonna kill me, but she's like, oh my God, I would have loved that. But for me, it was like duck feet and gelatin and duck.
Oh yeah, my wife's all over it.
Duck beak and gelatin, and it was just like they were spinning this at the table, and I was just like, I can't eat anything here, and I really didn't eat anything. I just didn't. I wasn't brave enough. But the weirdest of all was when we did Kazakhstan.
Where Borat is from.
Yes. See, that's another thing that they hate over there. We said that as we were going in, they were like, Americans.
No, they didn't want any part of that.
They're like, Americans. Yeah, Borat. Wow. Someone makes a movie, and that's what we're good for. So they take us to the high-end restaurant there, and the delicacy was camel milk.
Camel milk.
Camel milk.
Yes, let me tell you, I watched a lot of people try it and puke.
Oh,
It
really?
was warm camel milk.
Oh.
I don't like milk, let alone camel milk.
Yeah, any kind of milk.
It just doesn't sound. I mean, I still like milk. I like milk and cookies, but I'm still a child at heart.
Milk's bad for you.
It's cow pus.
It is bad for you.
I'll leave it at this. Tim, who's the other guitar player in the band, said, "So can I ask you a question? How'd you get this milk?" No
Camel
answer.
milk, right? Yeah, camel milk. I'm so sure.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I just never seen a tit on the camel, but I could be wrong.
Oh.
Could be wrong.
Right.
Well,
where's that coming from?
You know what? This show's not named right. It's called Tone Talk, right?
Yeah.
Should be shit talk.
Shit talk or camel tits and other
gross food talk.
We can always rename it or put the new name in parentheses next to Tone Talk on the YouTube thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, Dave, why is Tone Merchants getting a phone call at this time?
That was actually me.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't me. But let me tell you something. The store or the emails at the store or Friedman emails or my personal emails come in at all freaking hours of the night.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Dave, like that
global.
could be some guy like me that happens to be like playing a show that happens to be in a relevant time zone. That's like, why won't my switcher work?
No. I've had Steve Stevens calling me, hey, where's the gear you sent over to Europe? It literally is like hours before the show, and the gear isn't there yet. And I was told that it was delivered, and they're looking for it. And
that was recently, right?
That was real recently. Yeah. So that's like 6 a.m. I'm getting that phone call.
Wow.
And sorry I woke you. Well, fortunately, I have a young son, so you didn't wake me. But
yeah, there's been many an occasion though where I've called you.
Now, if it was Pete,
yeah,
you would have woken him.
That's funny.
Yeah, I've called you in a panic many times, right? Been
yes,
like,
yes, Pete.
Me too.
Unlike, George to a lesser extent, Pete unfortunately has the designation as the unluckiest gear person on the planet. Even though he knows what the hell he's doing with his gear, the shit just breaks on him for no apparent reason whatsoever.
Wow,
it's true.
Just
really?
like
it's true.
Just like, well, the piece of gear broke. I don't know what to tell you. Just stop.
Yeah,
working.
I have the weirdest shit go wrong, and it'll be at a sound check, and it's like it was working 5 minutes ago, and all of a sudden
blew up.
Like it just doesn't like, and the weird stuff like my MIDI AB box or something just quits working, and it's like
shit the bed.
And you're right. I know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, like
that's the thing. When you're calling me, asking me, you're like you're stumped, and that's not good. I mean, your gear better than your techs or anyone else, or you know how it all works, and you know how to make it function. Unlike a lot of people, but and George likewise, he knows his gear inside and out, especially now. Yeah. Jesus, I'm not calling you to ask questions.
Yeah,
because the stuff you have going on with your new rig and stuff, George, man, I have no idea what you're doing.
It's funny. I come here all the time, and it's a blessing for me to actually be able to come here and pick Dave's brain all the time. And I'm like, hey, I want to do this, and he'll just put his hand on his head. He's like, dude, you're making my brain hurt. Can you come back like in 2 days and come in the morning before anything starts so I can actually write this stuff down and figure out how it's going to work? And I'm like, okay.
I want to do this. I'm like, yeah. But I've never put a camel in a rig.
A camel
How the
again?
hell is how the hell do I connect it?
That's where you get the juice from. That's where you get the milk from, right?
I guess so. Yeah, that's oh God.
I literally just did that. Like I got the new Friedman pedal board from him, and I was like, oh, perfect. I'm gonna use his patch bay, and it's perfect, and everything's coming out of the. And I came and I was like, dude, it's oscillating, and he's like, damn it, George. And it was just the way I was plugging it in wasn't working, and so unfortunately had to redo the whole damn thing again.
And by the way, the small board's done.
Ah, yes. I can start programming.
Well, I mean, there's one little tiny thing that we gonna fix tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Well, actually, I don't know how that much the small board's gonna do you good because you only have, the delays and stuff on it. And
won't do anything until I have the other one then.
Yeah, it won't really do anything to have the other one. So they'll have the other one in the first few days of next week. So.
Okay.
So you'll have it by midweek, let's say. So.
Well, the first gig is at the Viper Room on the 24th, so I got to start rehearsing.
Well, yeah, and
That's
programming.
my birthday, George.
June 24th.
Oh, really?
June 24th. Yeah.
Well, are you gonna come see us for the first time?
I should.
You've been in the room.
You've
been in the room a couple of times.
Yeah, man. It's a Cairo Knife Fight gig.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, maybe that's my birthday plans.
Early night.
It's your birthday then?
June 24th. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Wow.
I share a birthday with Jeff with Jeff Beck. Same birthday.
Find a girl, and bring her to the gig, and then go do something else.
Yeah, we go on early, 8 p.m. So, yeah, playing time.
Cool.
Yeah.
What something else is up to you.
So, George, you want to tell us about your rig that you're using?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Jesus.
Well, George, you should tell them about your band first in case people haven't heard it, because I saw you and it's like I was like, whoa, it's unique what you're doing.
Yeah,
right.
It is. It's very different.
It's just two people, and we're pulling off a lot for two people. And I know there's a lot of bands like Royal Blood, and to me the best two-man band was White Stripes, but they're doing it great. But we're just doing it at a unique way, in a different way. And so my pedal board, and by the way, it's Cairo Knife Fight. Cairo, like in Egypt, knife, like I'm gonna cut you and fight. So Cairo Knife Fight. .com or Facebook or whatever. So I'm switching the big rig that Dave built for me. It looks like a refrigerator, like the ones behind me, and that's what I used to record the record. And we did it all live, and it's switching 5 amps. So 2 Dirty Shirleys in stereo, and in the effects loop of the 2 Dirty Shirleys, there's a stereo drawer, which isn't supposed to work, but Dave made it work. So the looper, and so 3 Strymon pedals go into a looper, which are all programmed through MIDI. So anything that those pedals are doing, I loop, and then that goes through the effects loop because I don't want it to mess with the compression of the amp. So it's going behind the amp. And then the same pedals, the same drawer pedals are going through the front in case I want to do sweeps with the delays or whatever. I like delays sometimes in the back or sometimes in the front. So
that's very cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're doing that. And then RJM switching systems are switching each. So it switches the 2 stereo amps in stereo. And then there's a 3rd amp that does kind of a Vox type tone. It's a 3 Monkeys amp that I use normally, the orangutan. And then the final stage of guitar amps is the BE100. So it's 2 Dirty Shirleys, 3 Monkeys, and it's all in stages. So it starts, and I also filter the 2 stereo amps with a Mobius. So when Nick is singing, I filter everything down to really quiet. So during that, everything's being filtered, and then it goes up another stage during the verse, another stage during the B section, which is when I bring in, unfilter the 2 Dirty Shirleys. This is so nerdy, Jesus.
No, it's cool. I like
that's
it.
That's what we.
Oh, people love it.
Yeah,
it's interesting how you're describing the Mobius and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
I unfilter the two Dirty Shirleys, so they sound the way they're supposed to sound, and then I bring in the Three Monkeys, and then the B100 is the loudest thing, and it's the second loudest thing, and it's dry, completely dry, and that gives me the big chunky sound. And then I have a 1200 watt 8x10 bass rig. That's the final stage, and that turns on during the choruses. Now, every amp has its own isolated send, and then the bass amp has its own signal path in the big rig. They all have their own signal path with their own respective drawers. So
wow.
They do.
Yeah,
So the bass,
to kind of put it, George is building like layers of dynamics, sort of,
Yeah.
So he's like, he goes down to the Dirty Shirleys, and he says, when he says he filters them, he's kind of making them a little more smaller, a little more AM radio sounding, and then it gets a little bit bigger, and then another amp kicks in, it gets bigger, and then a bass amp kicks in, and it just kicking your ass. You know what I mean? Like, so the dynamics of the whole thing with the band is that's what makes it really, really cool. I mean, when it gets really heavy and the bass amp kicks in and everything, and it's like, you can feel it in your chest, and it's really cool.
So George, let me just ask you, like, how, when you're doing that, like, so part wise, like when you're playing, how do you approach that? Like, because you're obviously musically also, whatever you're playing is going to correspond with the tones changing and dynamics, right? So do you have like a any kind of low octave shift or anything when that bass amp comes in? Or?
No. Well, yes and no.
Okay.
So for the old Cairo Knife Fight music, the way the original guitar player did it was he was just using a Pog on everything. But I hated the fact that I couldn't get tight with my parts with the Pog.
Mm-hmm.
So I took one of my Grosses to Eric, and I asked him to lower the pitch on it from A to A. So I did the whole record with a guitar that's tuned A to A. So when you're playing the guitar that's tuned A to A, you don't need the Pog. It's basically one whole step lower than a baritone. So you're playing a bass. Essentially. Yep. But I still turn on the Pog because what the Pog does is it gives it this like just dirtiness that's crazy when you're going through the bass amp. So when I need that really crazy bigness, that's going on. But that's the first version of the rig. Right now we're on the fourth version of the rig, which is what
it's morphed. It's morphed a few times, and same concept.
Yeah. So let me explain what he's finishing now is even crazier. So when we finished the record, the biggest challenge was to figure out how I'm going to play these songs live, because I didn't do anything on the record that I couldn't perform live. So I made sure that even the parts, if you download the song that was just available today, A6, you hear there's all this craziness going on that's all live. That's a Strymon pedal that it's completely wet, and it's doing their octave pitch thing, and it's just oscillating itself. So when I'm playing that simple riff, those two Dirty Shirleys are completely oscillating themselves non-stop. So it creates this crazy washed out thing that's going on beyond. And on top of that, I have 3 dry amps that I'm playing. So that thing is
so cool.
That thing is going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's looping stuff and making it, like.
So you're building like an ambient like craziness that's going on while you can still play dry parts and keep it
on top.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so
it's so much at this point with when he explains it to me that I'm just like, yeah, okay, yeah, you just go ahead and program that, have fun, because I don't even want to wrap my head around what you're trying to do.
You always say that to me, though, too. You do that to me when I'm like, hey, so if I do this and that, you're like, look, you MIDI stuff, just figure that out on your own. It's all quiet.
Well, first of all, you can. and you don't want to pay me to figure it out for you, do you?
No, not really.
You know,
No.
so believe me, there's plenty of times when I do have to be paid to figure it out and make it happen for the people. But
I totally understand. I'm just giving you shit.
And then the best thing that I've ever we've ever figured out with doing rigs for people is it wasn't that long ago, really. It's like maybe 5-6 years ago. Someone for the very first time said, "Hey, let me film this on my phone," when I was showing him the process of how to program things, And really, no one had done it before, like 6 years ago, right? And I'm like, "Oh, that's perfect. Just do." Right. And I do that with everyone all the time now, because I can. They just focus on my hands, and I'm just explaining it as I do it, and then they have a record of it forever. And they can watch it 150 times if they have to try to figure out what I told them. Some people get it right away, and they don't really need that, but other people, forget it the minute I tell it to them. So
unfortunately,
it just depends on the person.
Unfortunately for you and me, Pete, we take home blank rigs that we got to go program.
Well, that's because both of you know how to do it.
That's right. It's and there's an appeal to, like, okay,
but the rig works. But the rig works, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
That's super.
I want to finish this real quick, just because we only touched half of it. So when you, and Pete, you know how this goes. When you do gigs and you have this great idea and Dave makes it happen, you get to the show and you're like, that's not working. Something's missing. And so I did a tour with Cairo, and every time I would set up my loops, they would take over everything. And that's when I thought, you know what? I need a third amp to go above that's not connected to that signal chain, so I can have so I can have definition and be able to play a part that you can actually be able to tell what the hell I'm playing. Otherwise, it's just mush, which is what I hate about looping. Most people just loop, and it's just mush. You don't even know what the hell they're playing.
Right. So, well, in a studio context, that's interesting, because it's like, I had to kind of learn that working with producers. Like, they're like, no, don't play something so perfect. You can just play anything. I'm just going to blend this behind the track, Mm-hmm. And that, you know what I mean? Like, when you go in the studio, they're like, just make noise, like do something up high and do some droney, put a bunch of delay and reverb on it. And it doesn't matter if it's...
They just loop it in the background and just let it like kind of oscillate on itself in the background of the track. I learned that a long time ago. In fact, a friend of mine, James Santiago, showed me that a million years ago. I mean, like 20 years ago almost. And he did it with an Echoplex, and an old Echoplex, and he got this little loop going on it. And he goes, just put this in the back of the track. You don't even know it's there almost.
That's
but
right.
If you take it away, you're like, wait, what's missing?
So that's fascinating. George has figured out a way to kind of incorporate that into a live context. And
even beyond that is, once I put that third amp, I also realized that the sound man was saying, hey man, those loops you're creating, they're so crazy, but I can't turn them up. So that's one of the times that I came today and I was like, hey, I need to change something. I need to be able to send an auxiliary signal that I can turn on and off to the front of house. How do we do that? And so we we have
Dave.
So he built me a box that's being switched on and off with just a simple amp control. And now all those loops go to front of house and to Nick and his in-ears. And so whatever I create live can actually be turned up by the front of house or Nick, so he can play to it, which was the big problem. Is if it's coming through my amps and my amps aren't mic'd for some reason, we're in a small place, forget about it. It's just going to be good luck.
Right.
And then we complicate matters even more with Nick.
Oh my God.
Now Nick has a whole setup where he is looping things also with drums and
Nick is the drummer, if people don't know.
Keyboards and things. And
singing and playing drums and playing bass with his left hand all at the same time.
Yeah, I can safely say that if you're seeing this band, you're not hearing any tracks whatsoever.
None.
Wow.
We don't have
Because
a single track.
I've suggested it a few times, but Nick looks at me with the fucking corner of his eye, just like wanting to kill me.
And just to remind everybody, we're talking about Cairo Knife Fight.
Yes.
So check them out.
June 24th at the Viper Room.
There you go.
Yeah. Thank you. Pete's birthday. It's Pete's birthday show.
I won't be here. I'm going to be in Indiana.
Well, we have other shows now. We finally are getting shows, which is amazing. We're doing also
Sweetwater Gear Fest in Indiana.
That sounds awesome.
No, it probably is going to be like 90 degrees and
outside,
90% humidity, and maybe it'll rain like one year.
We're going to be at the Cairo Knife Fight Gear Fest at the Viper Room.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Well, the whole point of what this is interesting, because the whole point of why we had to rebuild everything is I couldn't get a gig in town to save my life because my footprint was huge. I had 5 amps, a bass, which included a big ass bass amp. Nick had his own bass amp, and so no one would take us. They were like, "No, you guys are as much as a 12-piece band, no." And so I came to Dave again, and I was like, "How do I bring this all down?" And so now it's two 12 Friedman cabs, 1 Dirty Shirley. He's building a Dirty Shirley channel into my B100 so I could switch and do essentially the same thing.
Oh.
And then Nick and I are now something else that he's doing, sharing the same bass amp.
Oh, wow.
So it's lowering our footprint to where we can play the small places. So we are playing smaller places now. So we're playing actually the Silver Lake Lounge on July 6th.
Oh.
I can't.
Oh, that's cool. That'll be good.
That I can come to.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
That's catching me right before I go to Summer NAMM.
Awesome.
So,
what date is that?
July 6th.
July 6th.
6th.
Yeah, that's right. That's a week before NAMM. Yeah.
Week before NAMM. So I'll be leaving several days later. I think the 10th or something.
Oh, cool.
I'm gonna miss one thing though. We played this small bar that we're like, oh, we don't care how loud you are. We're loud. And now we're not anymore because we made everything smaller, but we haven't tried it
somehow doubt that.
I'm just saying, it still sounds like pretty
You
loud.
made everything smaller, but what? You have one. The
Smaller is a relative.
Louder.
So we
the
played
BE100, by the way, is still 115
watts.
dB.
Yeah.
If you crank it.
My bass amp is still 800 watts, but we'll see. We haven't done this yet, so this is all. One thing that Nick says about Nick's a drummer. If people don't know who Nick we referencing, he says that he said to Dave when Dave said, "Why don't you just use tracks?" And he's like, "Because the band is dangerous. It's
literally now.
You can come to see us live and know that you're going to see one or two things: magic happen or a complete disaster." So he's like, I like that danger. I love when he said that to me the first time. I'm like, that's cool.
Well, someone actually someone wrote in the chat also. They said something like, "It sounds like a lot could possibly go wrong in the rig." So
like with tracks, something can't go wrong.
Yeah,
I think that's been proven otherwise by.
Yeah.
Here, let's date myself a little bit.
Let me see. Ashley Simpson.
Ashley Simpson. Yeah, that was
absolutely.
Let's see. I'm sure there's a bunch of others too that we don't know about.
Oh, there's tons. There's tons. So actually, I was thinking, Pete, have you been working on your next album?
Slowly but surely. So I started producing a record for a girl that I met that's from England, and she came over here and we worked for 3 or 4 weeks, and I've got to get on that because we've got 9 tracks that are really cool that I've just got to get done and mixed and stuff and finished. So that kind of happened, and I need to be completing that project. But in the meantime, I've got about 4 tracks for a record, and I've got like another 3 that I'm like,
more.
What's that?
You got about 2 million more though. Probably.
Well, the concept was kind of like I'd done all the video demos for pedals and stuff like that, and it's like, well, those are all kind of demo songs like that. I can consider, stuff I can work towards a new album. So, so I worked up a few of those, and it's been really fun because actually Steve Stevens has been doing it with Eric as well, the drummer from Billy Idol. So it's, you know, two folks from the fine Billy Idol band. Yeah. What do you got there?
You finished the bottle? The bottle empty?
No, he's topping us up.
Oh.
and he just said,
shit.
"Drink that, will you?"
The drink fairy coming through.
Oh, the drink fairy. Here he comes. Hey, wait a minute. It's Dave Friedman. I remember that guy.
This is
Look at that.
now you can
He's
see
now
we're
a
actually in
bartender.
the same
Thank you.
room.
Oh my. Now he's headed to the John. So yeah, so I worked up a few tracks with Steve and with Eric Aldanius from the Idol band. And Steve is so fun to get involved because he's playing bass on the
That's
songs.
awesome. Yeah. I
And,
saw that.
and he played bass on 2 songs on Guitar Nerd, which I was so stoked about.
He did.
And it was
I
so
didn't know
fun.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, he played bass on Revenge of the Nerd, the first song. So he did it at home, and I was like, hey, would you think about doing this? And he was like, absolutely, and he did it. And so he emails me the track, you know, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to hear it, you know, and it you know, we transferred it to me or whatever, and I pulled it into the session and dropped it in, and then just to hear what he did for you know, like just to listen to his creativity on the track playing bass, I was like, because it's such a cool bass part that he played.
Right.
And no, he comes in and he's like real sparse with it, and then he plays up an octave, and then when the song builds and the melody kind of comes in before the first verse, he drops down to like the low, and just his dynamics and the way that he did that, I was like, oh my god, it's perfect, you know. So that was the first time I'd done anything with him, and so this time around he came in and we did 3 tracks, and you know, he just was like killing it on bass. And then he's also done some programming and stuff like keys, which is amazing because when he gets involved in doing any kind of stuff that's keys or synths or anything like that, it really starts to sound like him. Like it just takes on this character where it's like, you know, that sound like part of what, you know, like whatever, Flesh for Fantasy, or if anybody's got the Memory Crash album or that kind of stuff, he's such a big part of that sound. Like an integral part of that. So no matter whether or not you wrote the song or whatever, you know, it takes on his character, and it's like, I'm like, oh my god, just have at it, dude. Like, it's just really cool. So
that's awesome.
So that's been really fun. Yeah. So I'm working on it. It's coming. You know.
That's cool. And the band that you were working with, what was the Holly Woo Woo or something like that?
That's her Instagram name. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. She's Holly Woo Woo on Instagram, but she's great, man. So literally, this girl, I found her on Instagram, and and that's where, you know, I literally met this person on Instagram, and now we're really good friends. And I'd see these videos she'd put up, and I'd be like, oh, she's really interesting, you know, and then she made this. Yeah, she makes these demos. Oh, this is actually a really good story. So she makes these demos, and you know, she's a girl in the south of England. She doesn't even own like an audio interface or anything like that. She literally has like an old Mac laptop, and I didn't even know this until she got over here. She's like, oh, the way that I record my demos is I sing everything and play everything into the Mac laptop, like the microphone.
Oh my god!
On the and so literally she's got these demos up, and you know, they sound like super lo-fi and all that, but the ideas, like she's stacking vocals where there's like, you know, 10 parts of vocal harmonies going on and stuff, and I'm like, this girl's kind of like a little bit of a genius, and I got really interested in it, and. Cool. And that's how she does it, you know. She gets here, and I was like, how'd you get that tone on the guitar solo of the demo for this one song? And she's like, oh, I perched like the laptop on my bed, sort of in front of my little 15-watt Vox solid state guitar amp or whatever, and I just hit record or whatever, and it's coming through the mic on the, and you know, crazy cool creativity. And I got so, you know, just I was just amazed by her just the ingenuity, you know, that so I brought her over. You know, I flew over here like, we're gonna make a record, you know, and I got her together with. Yeah.
Pete, what's her name?
Her name's real name? Holly Henderson.
Okay.
Yeah, she's Holly Woo Woo on Instagram.
Holly Woo Woo.
Search for Holly Woo Woo on Instagram. You'll find her.
Yeah.
She's great. She's awesome. So we got her here, and we did a bunch of tracks with my buddy Blair Cinta, a great drummer that's played with, you know, Annie Lennox and Alanis Morissette and all kinds of people. And John Button, who tours with the Who now, actually, he plays bass with the Who. So we did, you know, 9 basics, and then just kind of reconvened back in my studio and did all the rest of it. So now it's just up to me to kind of finish it. But it's been really fun.
That's cool. And how's it gonna when it gets done? Is it gonna be released like through iTunes, or how's it gonna be released?
What we'll probably do is try and get people involved, interested in the industry. Just say like, here's, she's an amazing talent. She's 21. She's beautiful. It's like,
it's amazing. Really
it's
good.
like, yeah, she really is. It's like she's just a pleasure to work with. It's like anybody that wouldn't want to work with her, I don't understand. It'd be like, so what we'll probably do is try and get somebody to help us out with it, and whether it's a label or management or something, to get people interested. I've got 4 or 5 songs mixed to the point where it's like basically like I play them for people and they're like, holy shit, dude, like that's pretty great,
Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait to hear it.
No, it's really, really great stuff, because I was here when he was recording it, and seeing her come in and listen to what she did and stuff. It was amazing. Yeah, really, awesome. Really special.
Now, did you play on it, Pete? Or
I did, but I tried to play as little as possible, because my friend Dennis said, and this is such good advice, when you're going to produce somebody. He said, listening to her demos, which are super lo-fi and done literally through the laptop mic, he said the hardest thing about this is going to be to not fuck it up, like to not screw with her raw
vibe.
Thing. Her vibe, and that's totally true. I was like, I don't want to mess it up, and I need to, as I go back and start finishing the tracks, I need to actually go back and listen to her demos more and make sure I'm getting to the heart of what she does, because she really is she's got a special thing.
That's great.
Pretty great. So
right.
Yeah. So I played a little bit. Long story short, but I literally did things like flew in her guitar solos from the demos because they sounded so cool, recorded through the Mac laptop. So there's some stuff that made it from the laptop demos onto the tracks.
Oh, really?
It's just cool. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I had to kind of make it work because it sounds so cool. There's keyboard stuff and all kinds of stuff.
Well,
she told me what's that?
Was she using GarageBand or Logic?
Yeah, so she uses GarageBand when she does keyboard stuff. She plays the keyboard on the laptop.
Oh my god!
Like
really?
The key, yeah. So she comes up with this amazing stuff. This is like, whoa, kids these days, But literally,
wow.
she told me she went to do a session for a guy in London because he loved her keyboard stuff, and she shows up with her laptop and she starts playing the keyboard. The guy's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And she's like, "This is how I do it."
It'll work.
Yeah.
That's Brave New World.
Pretty cool. Totally.
Yep. That's
so George, there's one end of rigs and gear all the way to the other end, right?
Yes.
And it's all valid, whatever works,
Well, let me tell you, I have yet, as far as pop stuff, because that's what I'm, now I'm doing the Cairo stuff, but I've done the P stuff since 1998, and I never go to a session with any real amps. I just take my Axe Effects because I know that it's going to be mixed so out of the way that what's the point? And I'm everyone's best friend in those sessions. Like when I show up with my Axe Effects and they're like, I need this sound, and I just dial it in. They're like, oh my god, that's great. And it really does make those sessions go so much faster. Because it isn't about the guitar. Those bands aren't about the guitar. Never about the guitar. It's about the vocals. Right. It's about the song. And so when you go in there and I hate that goddamn word, by the way. I hate that word.
Oh, what word was it? The word, the beat?
The beat. When people are like, yo, man, can you come over? I got some cool beats. I'm like, you have some cool songs? Fuck a beat.
I'm wearing some.
That's about it. Anyway, it's funny because I worked so long in that world, and you don't know what you're being influenced by. And the first time I worked with Nick, he's like completely opposite of that world. He's like, everything's got to be live. Everything's got to be pure. Nothing. No, we need real amps. We need everything. And so the first time I said, hey, what ideas do you have for a hook? He went like, hook? Ew, what's a hook? That's so hip hop pop. Like, you are so full of yourself when you already know it's a hook. Man, that just brought me down to a whole different level of like, realization, like, wow, that's so cool to be like, you know what? You're right. These guys are like, I have a beat and a hook. Like, dude, have you sold the record? Have you been on the radio? If you haven't, then why you like, and I understand it's a brave new world and you're gonna name it what you want and how you decide to talk about it, but it really is taking the art out of it. It's taking the jazz out of it. It's not. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Can we talk about the DJ musician?
Yeah, I could talk about it. I'll tell you right now, I could talk about it. I just did a session fixing it.
Now, I'm not gonna knock a DJ, but it depends on how the DJ is approaching what he's doing.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
I think a DJ that still will spin vinyl or something is a talented motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. How funny is it that in the 80s we didn't think it was an art form?
No, we didn't think it was an art form, but now I still think it's more of an art form than maybe I don't think our crowd will give us any flack for this, but I don't. No. I can't like buy into the DJ as the musician thing.
No,
unless he's really doing something very groundbreaking and interesting, which I'm not saying is not possible. But
I didn't get it until I went to Ibiza, and I was in a club filled with like, you know what I mean? And then it was like 10,000 people, and you're in one of those clubs like Privilege, or wherever it was. And then it was like when I saw that level of, and I'm talking, I don't know who it was I saw that night, but they've got Oakenfold and all those, the top level like dudes, that are, like the rock stars of that world. And when you're in a club with like the 10, I went, oh, I get this music finally. It's tribal. It's a tribal event.
I understand that. I think, and I think some of it is viable, and some of the rock star guys that do it very well, and they're kind of creative in what they do.
Yeah.
But there's so many that are not creative at all in what they do, and it's just really just iTunes and press play kind of, it's
absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
I mean, not that simply, but
well, there's a couple of memes on that go on Facebook, or they show Paul Gilbert doing a solo, and then they show the guy, whoever it is, he's like spinning a knob, and the crowd's going crazy, and he's like, the crowd's just.
But I really love I love vinyl DJs that really, really get creative with what they do with that, because at least it takes a skill set. There's a skill set to doing that properly, and
well, I'm not by any means an expert on this.
You probably know a lot of people in your world, the world that you used to live in.
Yes, I do. But the people like the DJ from his name escapes me right now, but the DJ from the Beastie Boys, if you ever watched him work.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's good. That's like
him working vinyl is an art form, because he understands rhythm and he understands pitch. And so
blending those.
He'll blend it with vinyl, and he's blending it by ear. He's not blending it by a machine. And
that's talent.
Unfortunately, the machine has made a lot of those producers lazy. And case in point, Black Eyed Peas right now, it was today, ironically, I was in the studio making the tracks for the show that they're doing. They're doing the Champions League, I think the WIFI Champions League in Cardiff for the soccer championship. They're opening that whole thing, and I was at Henson Studios on Sunday. They called me in an emergency. We need you to come and replay your parts, because all the parts were out of pitch. And this is the problem, is that when they're in there producing these songs and they're trying to make everything work from one part to another, and DJ Ammo's an amazing producer. He's the guy that's doing this, but it's all about speed, and it's all about, let's get from here to here as efficiently as possible, because we got to perform it tonight. but you're not paying attention to that. That's out of pitch. It's not even an E flat. It's like 30 cents off of E flat. So it's somewhere in the middle, and you have two choices. Get a real musician in there to actually tell you you're off by 30%, or a musician that actually can detune his guitar to play to it goes in there. And that's what happened on Sunday. It's like I came in, I got called as an emergency, like, we got to fix these tracks. And they called us all in, and we went in there. And it's funny, you know, I love, I forget her name. Pete, you know her better than I do. The girl who's playing with them now.
Ariana, yeah, she's a terrific guitar player. Yes,
she's a terrific guitar player. She's in an unfortunate position because, you know, she's going and playing to tracks that I played.
Right.
I made those things, and it's because they're not interested in quality anymore. They're interested in just getting the job done quickly.
Well, I guess in those situations, it's somewhere they gotta, you know, it gets dictated, especially stylistically, maybe with that kind of music. It's like you're gonna play the track, it's gonna be half track, it's gonna be right. I mean, there'll be times when when that won't happen, right? I mean,
for that world, because of it has nothing to do with her as a player or any of the players that are with them over there. It has to do with the timing issue. Basically, you have 4 minutes to get stuff on a soccer pitch and get off. They're not going to be miking stuff. When the Peas did the Super Bowl a couple years ago, I wasn't on stage. I was there, but Slash didn't want to play his solo in the studio, so he called me up and he's like, "Hey, you can go do the solo. If my amp doesn't work, I don't care if it's you." like, wait, what the hell? I don't get to play, but I'm gonna play your solo, and it's gonna be you miming me? It's like, what world are we in?
that is really weird, man. That's crazy.
Luckily, his amp did work, and so the NFL wouldn't allow us, the band, to be on the stage because it took too much time to mic drums, bass, guitar. But they would mic Slash. So they allowed to mic his one rig and the 4 mics of the piece. So that's why we didn't do the show. And it's unfortunate, but that's what it is. And Will was referencing it a lot, saying like, we can't repeat the disaster of the Super Bowl.
So tell me this, George, what do you think happened with at the Super Bowl with Prince? Because he was definitely live out there playing in the rain, like ripping it. Like, that was amazing. 2007.
He said, I know this for a fact because I know a lot of people that worked for him, and he's one of the few acts that actually did it live. The Who was another one. He did it live.
Stones too did it live,
the Stones, U2, they all did it live. And see, that's different when you go to a
Probably
U2
McCartney
show.
Too.
Yes, there was quite a few, but they were all big names that were like, we're not doing it unless you let us do it live, which is why you've seen the Super Bowl no longer does rock bands, they're going pop. And because it's for them, it's easier to say, well, let's just do this.
Right.
And it's
put
easier
a singer
to pull
out there
off.
with dancers and put a singer
And
out there with
everything's
dancers and call it a track. Yeah. So
look,
horrible.
My brother-in-law is in Bruno Mars. He's the musical director for Bruno Mars, and he was.
That's cool.
I remember when he was in my living room looking at the charts that he was writing out for their Super Bowl show, and they went in and recorded everything, and it was the same thing. Nowadays, it's just too much production.
Yeah.
Back when U2 did it, back when Prince did it, it was bare bones. It was like, look, make sure this works, and we're going old school here.
We're going live, yeah.
Yeah, but don't you think with those bands, with those big clout bands, they just like, no, we're
absolutely.
You want us?
Well,
you want us?
Absolutely.
And this is the way it is.
Sure.
We're going to do it live.
They demand it, and I have so much respect for
I
that.
remember distinctly when the Stones did it. I remember distinctly when they did it. I remember, I think I was at a bar or something with a friend of mine, and we were watching, Charlie Watts just playing the fucking drums there, and it was just like, man, that's great.
I think that
it was great.
I think that a lot of the time that everybody goes through, or at least in the last 30 years, everybody's gone through their moment of where they do it because it's dictated to them. Like, look, you got to do it to track, so they do it or they try it. I'm sure the Stones did it. I'm sure, and then they go, you know what? We're not gonna fucking do that again. Like, that's not who we are. And I've seen artists that I've played with actually do that, where they're like, you know, that's not going to happen again. We're not going to do it like that. We're going to, you know, and then they put their foot down from there on out, and it just doesn't go that way anymore. I see that a lot, actually. Like, they get pushed down a road, you know.
It is that, Pete. It really is. It's how much, I mean, when you think about people like Dave Grohl, do you think Dave Grohl will ever do? No.
No.
Speaking of that, have you seen their new video?
That's great.
It just came out. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my God.
It's great. It's great.
Have you seen that, Pete?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
It's great.
Oh my God, it's hilarious. You got to see it.
It's
Is
really
it
good.
I love those guys. They always made the best videos.
They do.
It's basically like all of them dressed up like a senior citizen's home, right?
Yes.
And so the band plays in this like senior citizen room, and then all the senior citizens are going ape shit and just like ripping each other's hair out and stuff, and the song is reasonably, like, it starts off slow and then gets really heavy.
It's so
metal
dope. It's so dope.
And
I gotta see this.
It's just hilarious. It's like really good.
Well, you know, and me and my wife
kudos to Grohl.
Yeah, me and my wife have a thing that we say all the time, and she came up with it. She always reference, what would Frank do? And she's referencing Frank Sinatra. When we would think of things like, what would Frank do in this bar? He would drink until that was done. And musically, we always say, what would Grohl do? Because he does not take shortcuts. He just doesn't. Same thing with Josh from Queens of the Stone Age. They just don't do shortcuts. They took the long route there. And of all people, Dave Grohl could have taken a shortcut all day. He was the drummer for Nirvana, and he did it. He was already famous before he did the Foo Fighters, and I reference that all the time. And he's such a sweetheart. I mean, he's a
good guy. I saw him a week ago, I guess. Yeah.
The funeral.
Yeah. I spoke to him for a little bit. He's always a very nice guy. He's a good guy. You know, I actually was
Jerry at the funeral?
Yeah, he was.
So. Yeah.
Everybody was there. But
that's awesome.
I have this memory, actually. It's a great Grohl memory of, because I've met him like probably like 3 or 4 times. He's always very nice and just like you would imagine, like just super cool, you know. Mm-hmm. And I remember going to the taco shop that's like literally, it's on the corner of Magnolia and Coldwater one day at a rehearsal break, and I was with Cornell. And I was with, I think, Jason and maybe one other guy from the band, and Grohl comes in, and I'm like in this hole in the wall in like in the corner of a strip mall in North Hollywood, and I thought, God, Cornell and Grohl in the same place, like, you know, what are the odds that these two guys would come in for tacos at the same time? It's just kind of funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the worlds collide.
Yeah, he's an amazing. Wonderful ambassador for rock and roll these days, so that's for sure.
He is.
You know what I love about all those guys is they're not afraid to try other projects and not afraid to use their time to use their extra time to do something maybe totally different. You know, like, you know what, Dave? So you have like, you know, like I was just talking to a friend of mine about this, and it's like, do your normal band and do those 2 other projects you want to do too. Because, well, dude, why the hell not? Like Jack White does that. Well, Jack White does that totally with a million bands, right? And so does Josh from Queens. So does
everybody used to guest on everybody's records, you know? It was like Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. Neil Young would go play, or the super groups like Asia, or like, you know. And I'm always like, this drives me crazy, Dave. I think we talked about this once, but Zach Wilde came in and we were talking about this. He liked this idea. I was like, why doesn't, you know? So okay, Robert Plant doesn't really want to go do Zeppelin, right? So, you know, the Wilson sisters obviously love Zeppelin. Ann sings the shit out of it. I go, why doesn't Ann and Nancy get together with Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones, and somebody can play drums, and they get somebody else too, and they call it a new band name, and they make a record, and they can play songs from Heart and from Zeppelin. And it's a new band, a super group. And if they only do it for one record, great. You know,
So if anyone knows Ann Wilson or Nancy Wilson, well, other than Jerry Cantrell, which I know knows both of them, tell them that.
get Jimmy playing. You know, do you guys remember?
Oh wait,
when...
I don't know if Ann and Nancy are talking to each other right now.
Yeah, it's off and on.
There's a little like riff going on there. So
because they're touring separately.
Oh yeah, no, there's the whole little backstory on that, but I don't even pretend to know what that's about. But
hey, gentlemen, just a little side note. Cheers.
Yeah,
cheers.
There you go.
Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Wait. I gotta pour more.
Is anybody sauced? I'm slightly sauced.
Now we go.
Here we go.
Am I slurring?
Cheers.
Do I sound?
Cheers.
Thank you to Fortaleza for. I haven't eaten anything yet today, so this is a good.
I'm with you.
Hey,
Might
guys,
be tacos after this.
Do you guys mind if I just go in the chat and just kind of say hi to a bunch of folks?
I was about
say
to say
hi
that,
to a bunch of folks, and you know what? Like, let's prod them to answer questions.
Yeah,
give us questions. Give us questions. Come on, guys.
Okay.
While you do that,
Anything.
I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
And charge my phone because it's getting low.
Okay.
Don't you have a charger there?
Yeah, but I have the new damn iPhone and it doesn't let you do both.
What?
I hate that.
What the? See, this is the problem right here.
Apple,
This
man.
is the problem.
Don't change shit.
What you need to do is get Bluetooth headphones. That's what they're pushing
Yeah,
you to.
absolutely. Yep.
You have to get the Bluetooth headphones.
They always.
But
fuck
is there a
stuff up.
Bluetooth mic too?
There must be.
Yeah, there is. I actually have. I have these
Hey.
Bluetooth ones that work. But yeah, they really screwed people over with that thing. That change. I hated that.
They do it constantly, man. They always mix.
I have the iPhone 6 Plus, and I'm staying there right now. So
there you go.
Because I like it, and it works fine, and mine hasn't broken yet. So why change?
There you go. Yeah, I kept my 6 Plus until it dropped and then cracked, and then I got the 7 Plus. But I waited until.
Luckily, have not dropped mine or cracked mine. So
I'm on an old 6, man, that I've had for I think at least 2.5 years, if not more.
Yeah, it works fine. You know, if it works, don't mess with it.
Exactly.
Yep.
And once it dropped, I was like, all right, it's time for a new one. But
and then there's a whole discussion of cell phone networks, but that's a whole other thing.
Oh, yeah.
T-Mobile. I'm a T-Mobile fan, man.
You know what? I'm switching soon.
I tell you what, touring, they save me so much money. I go to Europe and talk on the phone, do whatever I want. Come back a month later, my phone's $100.
Gonna be my new internet or my new cell phone provider.
It's the jam.
Yeah, 'cause I have AT&T, and it's kind of
well.
safe, so.
I have Sprint, and that's a whole different story. So
yeah,
T-Mobile when you're touring is the shit because it's free data overseas. It's a little bit slow, but it's free. So
the funny thing is Sprint used to be pretty good in Los Angeles, and then for some reason it's gotten really shitty lately. And Sprint, and then in my hometown Detroit, Sprint used to be really shitty. And when I was back in Detroit, Sprint is rock solid there, great. Fantastic.
You know what, man? I think my theory is T-Mobile and Sprint have got their shit together. T-Mobile and Sprint are because they knew they were going to go out of business if they didn't get it together. So I think that they.
Well, I think they're all fighting for they all if they have their they all want to be the best, so they all are. If there's flaws in their system, they want to try to fix it. And it's all a price war, and it's all a data war.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Can I tell you what? On that note, can I tell you what the best thing about T-Mobile is?
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe Pete, you know this. One price for the whole world.
That's right, baby. That's it.
Yep.
Man,
one price for the whole world.
It was so expensive without that. One price for the whole world.
I literally my phone bill went from $300 to $400 a month to $75 to $80 a month.
Wow.
Yeah, when I switched from
you are in the world, it works.
It might be time to switch.
Yeah.
It's the way to go. The only downside is when you're somewhere on the other side of the world, they'll only give you 2G.
That's right.
So you
right.
You're so
big deal.
You're so stoked to have that slow ass 2G because you know it's not costing you anything.
Right.
Yeah, you're fine. Wait a minute. All of us are old enough to remember dial-up.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So
sure.
I played
let's
that noise for my son.
not
the other
talk
day.
about. Let's not talk about like slow. All of us are old enough to know what dial-up was.
Dude, I remember literally almost throwing my laptop. I remember almost throwing my laptop out the window in Amsterdam one
Aren't
day.
you the
trying to
same
get
age?
dial-up.
You're my age, right? Yeah. 40. You're 1 year older. So,
you want to hear a great story about dial-up?
So who's the oldest person here?
Oh, probably me.
I'm
How old are you?
48.
I'm 48.
Let me just ask, is this working still? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pete, how old are you now?
Dude, I don't want to answer that question.
Come on.
He's the youngest one here, I think.
45.
I think you're the youngest one, right?
45. It's too goddamn old. I don't want to be 45.
Oh my God.
48.
So you know what?
What?
Wait, George, you were 48?
I'm 48 also.
Barry is the oldest guy here.
Yeah.
He wins. He wins. He's the oldest guy here.
51, I think. What did you say?
No, 49. Don't
49.
give him 51.
Don't give me that yet.
Come on.
Barry's doing good, man. He looks good for 49. Damn.
looks
I don't know what
great.
you guess.
He looks damn good for 49, I got to say. He's
Yeah.
got no gray hair. Well, maybe there's some, but hidden underneath. But
Yeah.
unlike me, who's totally gray.
Yeah, but you've been you got a good
I've been
head of
gray
hair.
since I was like 20-some years old, 29
Right,
years
right.
old.
Well,
So,
Me too.
At least you still
well,
have the hair.
not. I wasn't all gray then. It just like I started going gray then. So
Right. We call you the silver fox, you know.
the silver fox. Awesome.
Hey, Mark, did you do questions from the
Not yet.
people listening?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, so let me jump in.
Let's do that, but I'm going to take a break for 1 second.
You do that. So I'm just going to say hi to a bunch of folks. We've got Adam EVH, Pete Caruch, Craig Guitar Wannabe, and Dirty Apes. These are all
Those are
people's
good
names.
names.
Yeah, Cousin Vinny is in here.
Yeah.
And let's see who else. Jim Harrison. And if I come up to any questions as I'm going through this, I'll let you know. We got Sinner, who's here, and it's funny when we were talking about George's rig. Sinner wrote, "Anyone else lost? I lost it after the."
When I can lose the great Dave Friedman, everyone's lost.
Yeah, he wrote, "I lost it after 3 monkeys." Let's see. Adam EVH says 3 or 4 gain stages. But I don't think that's what you were talking about. You were talking about stages of building the amp layers, right?
Well,
not gains.
to answer his question, it's volume stages, and there's actually 4 to 5.
4 to 5 volume stages.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, cool. Humbucker Lover says he's not wearing socks. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Let me see. We have Mully. We were talking to Bruce.
I'm back.
Hey, Dave.
Sorry,
No problem. We're just
drinking
going.
a lot of liquids here, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to make a pit stop myself too.
I'm gonna go soon. I haven't been, so.
Prism says hi. Luke J. Luke J's got a great question here. Hey guys, love the show. When are we going to see a Pete Thorn signature Friedman?
Oh shit!
Oh,
that's a touchy subject, right?
Yeah, John's gonna get mad now. John's gonna be on the show.
Yeah, that's it. John's not doing the show.
Yeah. Dave's going out to John's to do the show soon, right? And you're gonna have brisket, I think.
I think we're gonna do. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I think John agreed to yes, so maybe I'm gonna say that, but we will see.
Yeah. Which is like,
I guess he's got to do it now because We've said that.
People might not know this, but Dave and John are pals, and John makes the most slamming brisket, like the 12-hour smoke. He's got a smoker.
Wow. I'm jealous.
So, yeah, it's amazing. So it's worth the drive because John lives way far from here. But anyway,
Dave was telling me, is it smoked brisket? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Smoked brisket, 12 hours. He does it in the smoker, and it's like people think John's amps and guitars are good, and then they haven't. They got to try his brisket. And they'll go, whoa.
Hey, we should text John right now. Actually, I'm going to text him.
Okay.
See if he'll chime in on the chat.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
That'd be cool if he would.
Friday night.
Yep, we're talking about John Sir, by the way, everybody.
So people might not know this, but I'm old friends with Dave, and Dave's built every rig I've had since the 90s.
Wow.
Me too.
I don't know, I'm talking at least 6 or 7 different rigs, like full on racks, pedal boards, the whole 9 yards. And I was actually the guy that had the second Marcia amp ever made. Dave had the first one, and he made me the second one. So what became the BE 100, I had eons ago, way back in the day.
Yep, yeah.
I'm a huge fan of what Dave does. And, these guys, John and Dave, they respect one another, and everybody loves one another, and it's all a big love fest. So everybody helps each other out. No,
John's a great dude. I've known him for a long time, and along with it's like I'm friends with everyone, all the guys,
Yeah,
like
Egnator,
like Soldano and Egnator, and
Fryette.
and we're gonna have Fryette, and I've known them all for years, and there's George Metropolis, of course. We'll have Bruce Egnator on eventually for the show for sure, and I hope to have Mike Soldano on. I haven't talked to him yet, but Mike, if you're listening or see this at all, I'd love to have you on. Let's do it.
Yeah, that'd be great to have him.
I'm sure Mike will do it. It's not a problem. So
I can't wait to hear the one with John, actually, with you guys rapping. I think that's going to be really cool. If he
Yeah, it's going to be really good, and I hope he seemed to say he was going to do it. So
all right. Well, I'm sorry if I brought it up out of turn, but
no, it's fine.
No, it's all good. We were talking
I think that's going to happen. So especially now.
Yeah.
Now we put him on the spot.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, right.
Sorry I did that. We got a comment from Johnny Bean. And by the way, shout out to Johnny Bean if anybody wants to check out his show. He does a show with David Nesdahl. Cool show about Eddie Van Halen, EVH.
Wait,
gear.
David Nesdahl has a show too?
Yeah, with Johnny Bean.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah, they do.
Hey, David Nesdahl, he never got back to me.
What the hell, dude?
You want those guitars? Those cheap guitars?
He said one of them needed a fret job or something. I think he was saying.
Well, no, I mean I think the Kramer guitar needed. Well, I mean it's playable, but it could use a fret job.
Is that the guitar behind you?
The Pacer, yeah, on the wall back.
Old school, baby.
Black Pacer with the maple neck. It's a good
I used
guitar.
to have one of those. My dad bought me one of those at the Guitar Center in Sherman Oaks when I was like 14 years old. We were in California on vacation. My dad got me one. It was a Bluebird.
Great guitar.
Oh man, it was slamming. It was one of my favorite guitars, and I can't believe I didn't keep that guitar. It was so cool.
Well, you know what's really good about that one is that guitar has a I'm not positive, 100% positive, but it's a little on the heavy side. I'm pretty sure it has a soft maple body.
They were maple,
and it just has this this attack that is for like a rock thing, like a hard rock thing. It has this maple thing, like all those George Lynch guitars were maples too. And you know what? There's something, and the Cantrell guitar actually, the Rampage was a maple guitar, and it has this wallop and this attack that not a lot of guitars do, and it's really cool actually.
That's cool. Well, we'll have to hear from Dave and see if He still
Now
wants the guitar.
I'm putting it on the spot
Put
right
him
now.
on the spot. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, they have a show and they talk about.
By the way, let's
EVH
just
and
put
stuff.
this out there. It's that guitar is like $700. That's it.
It's cheap.
So, it's actually judging from eBay prices, it's actually worth more like $1,100. So,
Well, someone should buy
that pays for the fret job. So,
it. Exactly.
so if you want it, come get it.
There
I
you
don't
go.
really need it. That's
Black
what it is.
Kramer Pacer.
Black
Totally
Kramer
merchant.
Pacer Carrera Maple Neck, maybe Carrera. I don't know.
Original Floyd Rose.
It's completely set up. It's completely set up though, and it's completely
Scheller
set up.
pickups.
Although the frets, no, Seymour Duncan pickups.
They had Schallers back in the day, man.
Well, I know they did, but they've been changed out in this guitar. So it's the
Seymour
mag,
Duncan.
the mag something in the neck, and I don't know, something else in the bridge, custom or something in the bridge.
Maple fingerboard with black hardware.
Yeah. You ever
Sorry,
think
I've been
about being a strip club DJ there, Pete?
And next up on the main stage, we've got Shauna.
I did it.
I've actually thought about it.
I did it.
All right, gentlemen, put your hands together because we've got.
I think
you have a
our
future in that.
mutual friend Dave Black too has done this too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was
You did
a
it,
strip
George?
club DJ.
Were you?
Yes.
Okay, put it on. Show us. Give us a little
And
tape.
next
All
up,
right, guys, on stage one, please put your hands together. And she ain't dancing if you ain't tipping. Give it up for her.
Oh, that's
Do
great.
it in Spanish too. In Spanish, it's even
Hang on.
better.
Okay, let's hear it in
Good, I like
Spanish.
Hoy, en el canal 34 es Mercedes en la firma número 1.
your open spot.
Oh, that's great.
Unplug something. Just
Oh,
turn
that
David
is great.
your phone.
Oh man. So how long did you do that, George?
Oh my God. It was probably the worst job I've ever done in my life.
Even with the scenery?
Well, first of all, I got ripped off twice.
Oh God.
And this, I'm old enough to where it was all CDs. So you had to come in with the like
Mhm.
box of CDs and play things for the performers. Let's call them performers. And so,
Okay, wait. Stop there. What'd you play? Like Bon Jovi, Bad Medicine?
You can.
And
No, you know what? You know, at that point, it was
It's your new job,
Pearls by Prince.
by Prince. Oh yeah.
bartender.
Yeah, it was. Diamonds and Pearls was big by
Wait.
Prince at that point. So
Hey
it was-
guys,
and yes, I did
does
do
anyone
that.
else need?
Then did
Wait.
do,
What's that?
Barry is bartending right now. Does anyone else need a drink?
I'm cool. I'm cool.
Good.
I'm cool.
I'm good. I'm
I don't know
Pop
if
up.
it pays, but there's a hell of a lot of gear here where I can just take.
He's good.
By the way, Dave, Nesdell
Yeah.
says he wants to get a California Friedman, Kelly Friedman.
Okay,
So-
great.
There it
It's
is.
going to cost a lot
Wait.
more.
See it?
There you
Oh,
go.
it,
Wait,
isn't it?
no, wait. Pete's got it right there. Like, let's
That's it.
show it again, Pete.
Yeah,
I
say
think that's it.
Pete.
talk Pete.
Just talk, Pete.
Oh, okay, I'll talk. It's the Kelly Friedman Black.
And
Aged
there it
to
is, right
perfection,
on this wall.
Gold
There you
original
go.
Floyd Rose.
Oh, there's
Seymour
two of them there.
Duncan.
There's a maple topped one further up there, but you can't really tell it's a maple topped one.
Mm. Very nice. Very nice. I'll be waiting for one once they make lefties.
Yeah, I know. You have the hard weight.
That's all right.
Unfortunately.
That's all right.
Oh.
Grover sent me a picture. Grover sent me a picture yesterday of the Concorde,
Oh, nice.
looking beautiful. Yeah, it's
Mark's getting a Randy Rhodes Concorde. from
What's a
Grover
Concorde?
Jackson.
the flying V.
You know the Randy V. You know the
Polka
kind of
dot?
offset. The offset white.
no, not the one that's offset. You know.
Oh,
the
like
white-
the black one.
Well, you had a black
Well-
one and a white one.
Oh,
Yeah, he had a black one and a white one.
those guitars, man, they were the shit back in the day. You know, I remember seeing those. And you know, I not a lot of people know this, but when I first moved here, I'll tell this quick. I worked in a
Take your
karaoke.
time.
I worked in a karaoke tape store in Montebello, California for
Wow.
5 years. So if anybody tells you that I didn't pay my dues, I'm going to tell you, I listen to people, old ladies come in. Do you have a nice version of The Wind Beneath My Wings? Do you have? Yeah. I worked in a karaoke tape store. I did, but we sold guitars too. It was like half the store was guitars, and Carl Sandoval was our local kind of guitar repair guy, and Carl built the original Randy Rhoads Polka Dot V, and also I believe put together the yellow and black Charvel for Eddie, right?
Nope, that has been disproved.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
Yeah, Grover says that he put it together.
Grover actually fucking
told
that when we were doing the tone talk with him that he actually did, and then Eddie called him at 3 in the morning or 2 in the morning and said, "Hey, it's got to be here tomorrow at this time."
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
there was some, you know, but Carl Sandoval, though, as far from what I understand, worked for Grover at the time.
Okay.
So.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe he was there.
It might have been a group effort of that, but in the final setups and everything, it was Grover's.
Right.
I don't know.
But he definitely he did the polka dot guitar though. That's for sure.
Well, Carl came in.
Carl did the polka dot.
Working in that store was fascinating because I met a lot of interesting people in that time that were kind of around in that sort of late 70s, early 80s kind of California period. But Carl was one of them, you know. He did all our, like, you know, like we would do setups and string changes and stuff. But if we needed anything beyond that, Carl would come in and take the guitars and do the, you know. So he's an interesting cat, you know.
Let me tell you something, Pete. You have not lived until you write a song that's turned into a karaoke song.
Oh shit! And I'm sure you have, George, right?
Yes, unfortunately.
You've got a few.
It's one of my secret little passions to actually find every single version of the song you've written in karaoke. It's awesome.
It's cool. Like general MIDI sounds and stuff.
Oh my god, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's so cool. I have a whole catalog on my iTunes with karaoke versions of Let's Get It Started. It's awesome.
That's great.
That's amazing. Dude, I had a gig for a minute doing video game music, and I had to like recreate these songs using general MIDI. This is
all Belgians are 8.5 and up.
But that was the thing back then. You had to use the general MIDI sounds, and so it was like an exercise in like how
champagne.
Good can you? What are you guys talking about back
I know, Dave. We hear you.
Every time Dave talks.
Sorry.
Dave's drunk.
We're talking about how Belgian beers taste like champagne, and but without maybe the headache that champagne has.
All right, let's switch the conversation.
Complete side conversation.
Different conversation. So go on with what you're saying. Sorry.
No, it was bullshit. I'm not. Your conversation is far more interesting than my general MIDI conversation.
Well, no, you did. I was interested in that because it's funny because I was just talking to a friend of mine, this guy Craig Rundles, who works with George Lynch, building the Bones guitars. He actually He does in the video game industry, and he actually has a song on iTunes that he did for a video game.
Okay.
Which, you know, so we were talking about video game music. So I'm just curious how you got into doing that.
Well, no, it was a project that a friend of mine that was he was involved with somebody that was, you know, in with one of the video game companies. He said, "Do you want to help me do this?" And I said, "Sure." So I got involved, but they would give us these tracks that were literally like, I remember doing a White Zombie track, right? And it's like, and it's like, you know, it sounds pretty badass and it's like heavy and shit, but you got to use the general MIDI synth sounds to recreate. And this was in the 90s. That's what you had to do. In video game music now, it's totally different. But back in the day, they had to stick with the standard. What general MIDI was like a standardized set of sounds that was like, you know, it was like, here's your piano sound. Here's your distorted guitar sound. These are the drum sounds you have.
Pete, what was your rig back then? I want to know what you were writing that on.
Oh my God. Let's go back to George's rig back then.
This was all synth shit that we were doing, you know, like you had to do all the guitars on key.
But
it was like I think the guy had I was going over to a friend's house, but he had like a M1, you know, Korg or something midied up to his, you know, something other. So you're doing the White Zombie tune, you know, and like trying to like get the guitar system. That was, you know, people ask like, oh, how do you get your drum sounds now and stuff? It was like a lot of years of like trying to massage shit that sounded terrible.
Yeah.
You know.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it was hard.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause
guy named Jeff Hall was the guy that was doing that with. I remember. God. Anyway,
I met George. What year was it, George?
Jesus, I've been trying to figure it out, but I think
It was before the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, so it was probably around 96.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so George came in with no money and and was like, "Hey, but wait, now wait, were you with that girl at the time?"
What girl? Oh,
No,
shit.
the blue eyes, the crazy hair and the blue eyes.
Oh,
No.
damn, I don't remember,
Is
Dave.
she like, come on. Who were you? What
Back in
girl was you
96.
with?
96. Jesus Christ, dude.
No, you
Pete,
came
who
in
were
with
you
her.
with in
No,
96?
she was like, wasn't she like, she wasn't managing you, but wasn't she involved in your career in some way?
Stephanie Cooper, yes.
Stephanie.
Steph, yes. Yeah,
Steph.
we're still friends, and she
she made
so
more
hot.
of an impression on Dave than she did on you.
She lives in
George.
Nashville now. And when I got married, my wife used to do her hair. Like, we're still like really friends, and yeah. She's probably
She
listening
had, like,
right now.
crazy blue eyes. She had these
Absolutely.
crazy blue eyes.
Absolutely, yeah. Now I remember.
But
yes.
what was she doing with you at the time? Wasn't what you were you a girlfriend and boyfriend at the time, or?
Kind of off and on, but I had at that point we probably were boyfriend and girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. She stuck out of my head.
Where did you get that from?
Anyway, so
This is
by the
good,
way,
man.
so George comes in with his
Let me
rig.
interrupt real quick. You know who reminded me? My wife texted me saying, "Steph, fool."
I like.
But
I like where this
that
is
was good
going.
for
This
you
is
because
good.
you can't even remember her.
Yeah.
That's
I like
funny.
where this is going. This is solid.
So,
right now. This is good.
It's
As long as no one gets in
the way of
trouble.
the show, it doesn't matter who gets in trouble, right?
Oh, I have. I am innocent.
No, you've done nothing wrong. That was a fucking ages ago, man.
Yeah, we're talking
Innocent.
decades.
Ages ago, way before your wife. So, so anyway, George comes in with his rig, and he didn't have a lot of money at the time, and he was playing a Trace Elliott amp, and a
What?
Trace Elliott guitar amplifier.
Green.
What?
Green Trace Elliott.
Trace
amp
Elliott.
head
You remember those, Pete?
I
They
do
were around
remember
for a
them.
while.
I remember.
with the
That's
crow
kind of like
dogs?
saying.
and-
That's kind of like saying I played the Dean Markley amp. It's like very
Yes.
similar.
Well,
you know?
yeah, but that might have been better.
Maybe the Esteban.
That might have been better, actually. Dean Markley amp from the '80s, which is you're talking
I had
about. That's dating
Yeah.
yourself.
Well,
But
I had a Seymour Duncan convertible.
oh
But
my
Da-
God, that was really bad.
but Dave, you're not
I-
explaining this
I had a
story the
Laney
correct-
AOR.
No,
You're
no,
not
I'm not.
explaining this.
I haven't finished the story. Yeah,
Okay,
so
go ahead. I'll
so-
let you finish.
the story goes, George comes in with this rack, and it's like, all right, well, I'm having these problems, and I don't have a lot of. We
I'm
lost
here.
George.
Well,
Okay.
I'm running out
Well-
of battery, so that's fine.
Well, I don't have a lot of I don't have a lot of money, and so we just kind of had to like make the rig work with what he had, and kind of just like patch it together and get rid of the noises and stuff, and we did that. And I remember going down and seeing George at a band that he was playing at the time, Gravy.
Yeah.
And it was a great. I don't remember what venue it was, but it was a great. It was a cool, really cool. And Tim Izzo was in it, who later is in the Peas, and was Prince in it too?
Well, let me tell you that everyone that was in that band,
It was the core band of the Peas, right?
Well, not necessarily, but eventually everyone that was in that band, with the exception of the drummer, and that's it. The drummer ended up becoming a really successful pharmaceutical rep. But
Oh, that's much better than music. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
now especially nowadays. But
Yeah.
the bass player now in that band, Gravy, the bass player Caleb Spear is musical director for Macy Gray. The trombone player in that band is in Derek Trucks, which oh my god,
Wow.
like
That's
yeah.
cool.
Wow. Man.
The keyboard player, frontman is who ended up becoming the musical director for the Peas, Prince Board. The sax player ended up becoming the utility guy for the Peas. He's also with me in
Tim
Fergie.
Izzo.
Tim Izzo and Fergie. And then myself. So every single person that was in that band, with the exception of the drummer, ended up doing something professionally in
That's
music.
great.
Yeah, but at that time, what Dave's not telling you is he literally broke my heart. God. I came in and I had saved all my money to buy all this gear, and I was searching the recycler. I'm aging myself again. Searching the recycler to see who was talking about guys that could put rigs together, and that's how I found Dave. And so I came to find
that was in the recycler, really?
Yes.
Wow.
It's amazing.
I found Dave, and I came in and I was like, "Hey man, I want to build this rack out of this," and he's like, "Why?" I didn't know him
That
yet.
sounds
And
like
he's
a Dave comment.
Why? And I was like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? He's like, that head sucks. That sucks. That sucks. I'm like, well, that's all I got. And he's like, all right, we'll make it work. And that never left me.
Right.
So years and years, like a year later, I'm like, I'm going to go back there. I'm going to find out what is good.
It's good.
And I want him to tell me. And so that's how I started buying real gears, because of Dave. I would come in as like, George,
that's cool.
you got to try this. And that's how I would buy that pedal. Or you got to try this. And that's how I'd buy my.
Unfortunately,
I'll be right back, you guys. I'm gonna explode. All you guys eat like 2 times. I'll be right back.
Go ahead, buddy.
All
right. Unfortunately, my frankness has earned me. Oh wow, we got a good video of that guitar little thing there.
Wow, yeah.
That's nice.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, my frankness has earned me some accolades, shall we say?
Now, for me, it wasn't. It was.
It wasn't
honesty.
really about like it wasn't. It was. You know what? Here, I can't like sugarcoat it. I just can't. It's just like.
Well, it's
here's what I think. Here's what I think, and here's what's wrong with this, and here's why.
You've always been that way with me, and because of that, I learned what real instruments were. And if it wasn't for that, I would have not. No, look, I remember I bought this Marshall JCM 800, and I brought it to Dave, and he's like, "This is not the one, George." He's like, "Okay, which one should I get?" I sold it immediately. He's like, "Get the one that it is the 2 inputs top to bottom."
2203.
If you want an 800, you want the top and bottom input one. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the one I had.
So,
I had that one. Yeah.
Literally, when I bought my first house, my only house, the house I live in now, when I bought that house, I one day was drinking with my neighbor next door, and he opens up a closet and he's like, "Oh, I have guitar and amps too." And he opens up the amp and he opens up the closet and he has that Marshall in there, and all I thought about was Dave.
No,
wait,
you have an amp that is a Soldano modified 800.
Yes, I was about to say
and that is very cool.
When I brought it to Dave, and I was like, "Hey man, I just bought this because you said buy the amp with the 2 jacks on top of each other," and I gave it to him. He's like, "Whoa, you have a Soldano modded amp." I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "This is cool."
Yeah, no, it's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the mod to it?
No, it was like his typical gain mod that he did to amps, but it was like an SLO circuit.
Oh, nice.
For a Marshall, but
unfortunately, I sold it to buy a BM100.
Did you really? Oh man,
that's how
okay,
I got
guess
the money.
That's good, but it's a cool, I guess I'll accept that.
And guess who I sold it to? Guess who I sold it to?
Who?
Oh, he's one of your clients too. He's
okay. Who?
He's bald and has really cool sideburns, and he's an amazing guitar player. I can't think of his name right now. He came to my studio and bought it.
It's Barry's job. Sorry, Pete's getting more booze here. There we go.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Pete
talking
apparently likes the tequila.
Oh, that's fucking good.
Is it good stuff?
Fortaleza is very good tequila. Very good. Yeah. No, actually, Mark,
I remember Derek.
you have a new mission,
Mhm.
and the new mission is to buy Fortaleza Tequila.
Okay.
But actually, from what we're drinking right now, you need to buy the Reposado version of it.
What's the difference?
Well, generally you have Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo.
Mm.
So Añejo is the most aged, Reposado is the second. But I know for a fact Reposado of this brand is the best. So if you're going to buy a tequila, find this and buy it. But buy the Reposado version. You can buy it online. You can just buy it online.
Reposado's kind of like the sipping deliciousness,
Well,
right? And then if you're gonna
you know what?
if you're gonna
Here's
make a
the thing.
margarita, you want to go Blanco, right?
No, well, I wouldn't make a margarita with this. Period.
No. But
Because if you're
average
going to make a
Blanco.
margarita, you might as well just use Cuervo. To be honest.
No,
I mean,
no. I don't believe
Okay.
that.
Oh, maybe a slight, a couple
Herradura
notches
Silver.
up from that.
Herradura
Okay,
Silver.
fine.
Yeah,
Fine,
Dave,
fine.
Cuervo
But-
Gold.
Dave has a very
But
good. Dave has a very good point.
You're not going to use this to make a margarita. That's like fucking putting ketchup on your steak.
That's
Right.
that's Dave's
What do you mean,
point
like
is
our
very good.
president? That guy
No,
said it.
you don't-
President?
Yeah, exactly like our
Oh.
president. God damn it!
Oh no!
I said it.
I went there. That's
Here we-
right. That's
here we
right.
I'm not going to get into the political part of this because
No.
I will not come out well.
No.
Hey, the guy likes ketchup on his steak. That's all I said.
No, it is not allowed.
No.
You know what? Here's the thing. There's a couple things
all
to
right.
put on your steak. You could maybe put steak sauce on your steak, and that's questionable in itself. If it's a good steak, you could maybe put salsa on your steak.
Oh, I've
Whoa,
never-
that's
That
weird.
is
that is
questionable.
weird. What about Bernaise
Depending,
sauce?
no, that's not. That is questionable. That's questionable. Totally questionable.
Horseradish. What about horseradish?
Oh,
That's
well,
good.
wait a minute. That would be
That's
prime
good.
rib.
That's good.
Yeah, that's prime rib.
That would
That's
be
true.
prime rib. Horseradish
Yeah, I
on
guess
prime
you're
rib, no problem. No
But
problem.
I'll have some Bernaise sauce with the steak sometimes.
Or a nice
Bernaise
pepper
sauce,
kind of
okay,
situation.
I'll go
Pepper-
for that. But
pepper
you know
sauce.
what? If the steak is really great,
You don't need it. I agree
you
with
don't
you.
really need much of anything. Honestly, you really don't.
No, it's true.
We got to call this show Meat Talk.
Meat talk. Yes, exactly. So, hey, we'll preface that I'm going to go to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and we're going to go to. Wow, I wish I could remember the
Oh,
restaurant's
I know the
name.
place. I know the place you're talking about.
No, you don't.
I've been there. I do. They took me. Sweetwater.
Well,
They take you
no, they took you to probably a different place.
I know the place you're going
Oh
to.
shit! All right, you're right.
Oh wait,
I don't know.
Don Hall's.
Okay.
No. No, the place for prime rib. Don Hall's Gas House.
I thought
the
I was
name
going to
of
be
the
the
place.
drunker guy here.
So,
She's doing great.
no ketchup on your steak. Look, no ketchup on your steak. Yes.
Is that the way
exactly.
you feel right now, George? Are you like, I think that guy's drunker than me. I think I'm okay.
My mom's watching this.
That's what all of you guys are thinking.
Hey, by the way, the best
That's what all you
steakhouse.
guys are thinking. You're like, Pete's like going, George is drunker than me. Dave's drunker than George is drunker
Well,
than George is going,
so-
Pete's drunker than me.
Well, it's kind of weird. We're all in separate rooms getting wasted by ourselves.
It's so crazy.
But we're in the same location.
This technology
So weird.
sucks.
Super weird.
It would have been better if all you guys could hang out in the same room. That would have been fun. But
We
But we
are.
still-
We're only,
We still wouldn't have been in
Here's
the
an
same
update
room
on John
with-
Sir.
That's
John
true.
Sir
Okay.
cannot participate because he's driving.
oh,
Oh my goodness.
let down.
maybe he'll hit some LA
Let
traffic.
down.
Yeah,
Well,
busy-
no, but
he's a busy guy.
Yeah,
he did respond to me though.
there you go. Well, that's
good.
cool. Hey, you know what? I wanted to ask you guys since we're on. I'll change the subject because we're.
Why did you ask questions?
No more meat talk.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question. So I got a Variac the other day.
Why? How much
And,
have I blown?
I used it and it's freaking awesome.
Which
So it's up right up there. This red one right over there that you guys can see.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
typical Chinese Variac. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's so cool. And I'm just curious, have you guys ever used one with your amps? You
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, I will
I've used
chime
one
in
for
one
years.
thing, Dave. Let me correct me if I'm wrong, but the best way to use that thing is that if you're going to Variac down, you got to kind of adjust the bias for the Variac, right?
Correct.
Oh, really? So I have
If
to
you're gonna
rebias
Variac
the
it
amp?
down to like 90 volts. Honestly, the best way is to bias the amp appropriately for that.
No, you'll have to tell me how to do that. I'll figure that out. Okay.
Because the bias gets cold,
Well,
right? When you
you're
drop
gonna
the
have to
voltage.
you're gonna have to get a little bias probe. I can tell you how to do it. I mean, it's not really that hard.
No,
But,
I've seen some videos on it. So yeah, I'm
It's
curious.
really easy.
I want to do it myself. Yeah.
You want to get your hands dirty there? No problem.
I'd love to do it. I'm doing, putting guitars together.
Marc here got a power station, right?
I did.
He was so interested in the power station that he decided to buy a 1987X amp.
Okay.
Cheap,
Non-Marshall, non-master volume.
which is not the best amp in the world, but
not bad.
get in the ballpark of it, right? Because eventually I'm gonna build Marc a Plexi 50 that's like
The right way.
Pete knows.
Dave has the Plexi 50 that is really, really
To
nice.
die for.
68 Plexi 50. Show us a picture, Dave. Oh, you can't because you probably can't turn your computer.
I can't
But-
turn my no.
But Dave has a really beautiful small box Plexi 50 that sounds awesome. So he's got
He's
a
got
great
that.
blueprint for that
Yeah.
amp.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, when we were talking, George, before about bursting the bubble with Dave, so I texted him like, "Hey, I got a 1987X really cheap," and he's like, "Yeah, those amps kind of suck."
Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah.
Truthfully, come on now.
I'm
Not
sorry.
bad.
I'm sorry. You know what? It is in the ballpark of what you're gonna do, but
I
it's
can't
not
tell you how many
like-
times that's happened to me.
George, the last time George came in, is like, you realize you just cost yourself a lot more money.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I have an Amplexador 50. Dave will attest. It's a good amp, the Amplexador I have, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely, great amp.
It's an early Amplexador, and it really does that thing nice. I was looking for an old Marshall, and I couldn't find one. This is back, 2000 or 2001 or something. I remember I went to Black Market, and I went to all these different stores, and I played.
Pete, don't you miss that store?
Oh fuck, that store is amazing.
Oh my god,
I
it's
miss
fucking
that
amazing.
store so bad.
It was so cool.
Sorry.
I bought a lot of shit.
No doubt. We miss it. Yeah.
I bought a lot of shit. It was on La Cienega. It was such a cool music store.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. That's it. John Button got his bass that he still has a 65P that's like, he plays it now with the Who. He's like amazing bass. But anyway, it's such a good store. And I played, I don't know, like 10 Marshalls in there. Old, and stuff was cheaper back then,
Yeah.
You could buy Marshalls for like $1,000 or $1,500 all day long. That was like 68, 69, 70,
Wow.
whatever.
Wow,
I
it's
could
like
not
5-6
find
grand.
one. Everything sounded like shit to me. I couldn't find one that sounded good. So I go in Guitar Center in Sherman Oaks just one day, and they had this top hat Amplexador 50, and I plugged it in, and it sounded awesome, but it was intermittent. The input jack was kind of funky, so you'd shake the cable and it would kind of come in and out. And I said, hey, this amp's kind of funky, you know, you want to get rid of it? And they sold it to me for like $700. So
Awesome.
yeah,
so that's what I picked up the 1987X for. It had a couple.
Yeah, that's a good deal. That's a good deal, Mark.
Yeah, it was $7.99. That's what it was out the door. You know,
that's a great deal. Really,
it's a really good deal. But so, you know, trying to get close to that tone, it's like, but it's a really special. A Marshall 50 is like a really wonderful, you know.
Yeah,
But like I was telling Mark, I kind of like the Marshall 1970. The one you bought is not reminiscent of the real thing.
Right. Well, it's also, from what I understand, it's a different circuit. It was more like the later.
Well,
70s,
no, it's the circuit's right.
What are the reasons,
Dave? Just not. It's
not point to point.
The transformers aren't right.
Different.
The some of the parts aren't right. I mean, it can be with great modification to be right, but
so what's better, Dave? Is it better to buy like one of those and mod it, or is it better to like wait around for the real, or is it better to get like a 74 or 75 that's not so expensive and mod?
Honestly, it's better to get the real deal. I mean,
just go for it. Well, better.
I mean, come on. I mean, like, how much more is it going to be? I mean, like, really?
A lot. I mean, you're
a lot.
I saw a
Plexi, but like a Plexi, but like a 1970 Marshall or something.
Right, $2,000, right? $3,000, maybe.
Get a couple grand, grand, $2,500 maybe.
Maybe the thing to do is get a modded one that's had an effects loop put in or something, and then you can pull that shit out if you don't want it, and then it'll make it cheaper.
Well, if you can get it really cheap, I mean, you know.
Right.
And those are out there.
Yeah,
you can get it cheap. I mean, that's fine, but
put it back to stock. And
I think Mark, honestly though, at $7.99 or $7.99 or what? What'd you get?
Yeah, $7.99.
You say 6, 7, whatever.
Blah 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 blah.
$789.
Guys, hold on a minute. I have not eaten anything today at all.
You haven't eaten anything?
No,
I haven't.
It's hitting
zero food.
It's hitting you hard.
So
yeah, it was $7.99.
If I'm slurring my words, that's because
it's really, you're not really slurring your words. It's the video.
No, yeah, exactly. Right.
And it was a slight internet lag in the Wi-Fi.
It has nothing to do with that. Nothing.
Oh wait!
That bottle is gone.
It's gone. It's gone.
No, I've only had 2 of these, motherfuckers.
I still have. Look how
you guys
I still have.
2 bottles. 2 bottles. What the fuck? Sorry, I've only had 2 glasses.
Here's mine. I got this much going. It's like, you know.
I know. Barry has to come out and fill your glasses again. Okay, Barry's coming right now.
There we go.
Oh God.
Refills. That's so funny.
This is disintegration of Tone Talk.
Oh my God.
Jesus
And
Christ.
you know what? That does not help with the Duval. There's Barry right there.
Wait, what the fuck is going on?
Does not help with the Duval.
Wait. Topping you up. You can't top me off with the fucking cork in there. Look at this. Wait, let me show this.
Oh shit! Barry broke the cork off.
Oh no!
Okay, wait a minute.
You got to knock the cork back
Now
in.
you got to get the fucking. Now you got to get the fucking wine cork.
Yes.
Yeah. And fucking fix that.
Is he gonna go do? Is he gonna go do the wine trick?
Yeah, punch it in there. That's right.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
No.
He's going to actually try to get it out.
Dave definitely has enough tools in here to figure that out.
It's like a sign, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah, get the drill press.
Yeah, instead of tools.
Yeah.
I must say, this is going very downhill.
Oh yeah.
we actually had a question for you,
How's
Dave.
our questions going, Mark?
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
We got one. We got one.
I really don't know because I'm not watching.
I got it. So, Dave, someone wants to know
Barry.
what do you think of Sierra Tone plexis?
Hopefully this doesn't get me fired.
Sierra.
Have you heard of Sierra Tone?
We're gonna pretend it's a worm.
Thank you very much.
You guys haven't even drank one.
I don't.
Those are those.
What?
kids.
No. You. Oh
Thank you
no.
very much.
You mean
I can't believe this.
the Asian
Dave's
company.
hilarious right now.
Yeah, the guy who sells.
It's amazing.
tickets.
Thank you, Barry.
I'm hilarious right now.
Yeah,
What
Dave's
is it?
amazing. That's what I said.
Thank
You're,
you.
you're
That's funny.
awesome.
Maybe this actually went
Sierra
better than
Tone
we thought.
is a great company. They make a really nice product, and
What is serotonin? Why don't I know this?
I'm not. I don't know either.
no, you know what it is.
I don't.
I don't.
They make it's like an overseas guy or a company that makes
Oh,
overseas.
Seriatone.
Serious
Yes.
Tone. Yeah,
Serious
however
okay.
you know.
Oh, really?
he
There's
makes-
semantics on
You know
that.
what? Honestly, he
No, I
makes a
was
good
like-
product, and the transformers he has. You know what? To be honest, he makes a very nice hand-wired product. The transformers he has sound pretty good. I don't really have any negative things to say about him. I mean, he's a good guy. I mean, like,
It's a guy's name. Nick or
buy
something,
his
right?
amps if you want a low cost
Hand-wired.
Lexi hand-wired amp.
They're made in
I don't
Malaysia.
Is that what they're meant?
No, they're made in Malaysia, and but the quality of what he does is just good. It's fine.
He seems like he's a bit of an aficionado for proper.
No,
amp
he
design,
totally
right?
is. He absolutely is, and I don't have any problem with him at all. I mean, like, I think,
George.
yeah.
George is cracking up.
That's so funny. That's cool. We got a question from Mike Cicello. He wants to know how do you like the 2203 reissues?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good question. I want to know that,
It's
Dave.
the same.
Are they good?
It's the exact same JC
What about-
800. 4
what about
input.
the-
Or not
what
4
about
input, 2 input.
2 input. But is it the same circuit? I mean, like kind of like what you're saying about the 1987.
Exact.
But
No,
but it doesn't have the good
it's-
transformers and stuff, right? So
Well, the Transformers are not that great, but neither were the JC 800s.
Ah, that's
Like-
interesting.
Okay.
I mean, they weren't great Transformers to begin with. I mean,
Were they
I
around?
think the
back then?
JC 800 reissue is fine. It's the same amp.
okay.
What about the Jubilees and stuff? Are they basically like?
Same amp.
I mean-
I mean, well, okay. I haven't been in every one of them, but I think the 100-watt or 50-watt is the same amp.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have one of those too.
Is it pretty cool? What do you
It's a
think?
very cool amp. It's kind of like a one-trick pony. You know,
Fair
like
enough.
you get that great sound, that kind of that slash tone. I hope Dave's okay.
Where's he going? I'm going to see him in a minute. There he is. There he is. Let me off. He's
Oh,
mad
no.
at me or something. He's not mad at me. All right.
All right, that's cool.
That's Detroit Rock City right there. That's Dave Friedman. He's the
That's
real
awesome.
deal.
He is, man.
Yes, he is.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I
We love him.
like the Silver Jubilee. It's a cool amp.
Pete,
I liked him back in the day.
When did you meet Dave?
Okay, I met around the same time you did, probably 94 or 95. My first rig was built, it was probably a little later than that, like maybe 96 or 97. My first rig was built by Jamie Kime, who works here sometimes at Tone Merchants,
God.
who works
Yeah.
for Dave. Amazing guitar player, you know
By
that.
the way, that dude as a guitar player,
Oh, come on.
dude.
I mean,
Wow.
not a lot of people know. So he toured with Dweezil Zappa. Zappa plays Zappa, but Jamie is like, he's such a phenomenal guitar player. And I watch him play and I'm just like astounded.
Yeah.
Same
Same here.
With his chops and musicality and everything is just amazing. But anyway, he works a lot with Dave now. So anyway, Jamie built my first rig, and it was at the old Making Music on. So that rig was built at the old Making Music on Lancashire.
Yeah, that's where I met him.
And Jamie, yeah, so he built that, and that was great. It was I used that rack for a lot of years, and then Dave has done everything for me ever since, which probably started around 98 or 99 or something like that. So around the same time.
Me too.
Yeah. Remember when Dave had a shop like not far from where we are right now, like over on just by Magnolia.
I had a few shops.
Yeah, you move every few years, but you've been at this one for a while.
This is the longest he's been at one place.
No. Really?
What's the longest?
Maybe.
No, this is it. This is it.
I think so.
I guess maybe. Yeah.
Longest.
Yeah.
Before this, you were at the Valley Production Storage or whatever it was called.
Yeah. I was there for a bunch of years. Yeah.
Hell, before this, you were across the street.
At Whittington.
Yeah. Right.
No,
on
Chandler before that.
That's the one where I met you, Dave. When you were on Chandler, I think, where I met you, and you had your shop over there. Yeah.
Very cool.
But,
all right, I'm going to jump back to chat to see if there's any other questions or how you guys doing on time. I know we're hitting on like almost the kind of 2.5 hour mark.
I'm hammered, so the night is done, man. What do you mean?
You guys are good? All right.
I think everyone is drunk that you're talking to, Mark, except you.
Mark, what's going to happen beyond this? Like we're going to go get some work done or something?
So Mark,
I don't think so.
So Mark,
yeah,
you're the most soberest person.
I am.
Here, so.
I'm actually going to celebrate the release of my worldwide single at my drummer's house. That's where I'm going.
Oh, cool.
And
Tonight?
George is gonna get
Tonight?
Shit-faced drunk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch fucking Fargo.
Well, there you go. That's
How good is that new
good choice.
season?
No, you got a bigger night ahead than me, George.
Oh, that new season of Fargo is amazing.
It's amazing. Ethan Hawke is
so
George,
good.
somehow your mic is not picking up now.
A little muffled, yeah.
Yeah, because I had to plug in. So now I am just live.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right. It's working.
I'm running out of battery.
Great. We can hear you, so
as long as
a little less.
The choice.
My wife is texting me saying, "Put on your earphones. You have a delay." I'm sorry. I have unfortunately a new Mac product.
George, do you need my charger? You need my charger? Because I got a charger.
No, you can't charge and put earphones on at the same time with this new iPhone.
You need Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Holy shit! So I got a 6 and I can do shit that you can't do. That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fuck the goddamn.
They went backwards, unfortunately.
Problem.
Yeah.
Why do mezzo boogies not need biasing? Someone asks.
Because they don't want to fucking deal with it.
Good answer.
Interesting.
Here's the one thing.
No, they can bias it. They just don't want to deal with fucking having to do it.
So they ship their tubes, Dave, right? With like all the bias, like they're within a range, right? Right.
Well, yeah, within a range, but your amp within that range, and there's like multiple ranges. None of it is necessarily right. I mean, to be honest, it's like none of it's right.
Wait. What do you mean?
what I mean is,
Pete, have you ever been
there's
in
a
the room
fixed
when
bias,
Dave
and they're just not right. It's not like the right.
I think
bias
he's doing it right now, George.
Pete, have you ever been in the room when Dave is testing tubes for Eddie?
No. Tell me about that.
It's tell me about that too.
He has this box, and he's just has a tube tester, and he's like tossing. I'm like, Dave,
dude, let me tell you, it's not just him.
It's like 5% of the tubes, right?
Let me tell you, like tubes suck. Okay? All of them suck.
This is good for guys out there to know. Right?
That's true.
Let me just tell you straight ahead. Just because you bought a new set of tubes doesn't mean that it's not bad.
or you got a new amp. Or you got a brand new amp.
It's more likely they're bad than good. Okay? So just because you bought the new set of tubes does not mean it will not red plate or short on you.
Yeah.
I get these emails all the time.
Yeah. This is good knowledge for people out
I've
there.
recently had a bad batch of tubes in my production, right? This is thousands of amps, right?
Yeah.
So
That
thousands
he
of
really
amps
had
mean
pets.
thousands of emails.
Wow.
Hey,
See-
I turned my amp on. It was fine the other day. I turned it on. And now, no power. Well, that means you blew your fuse. Okay, well, I checked my fuse. No, the fuse is in the little tray that you pull out the AC connector, not the HT fuse next to it. So, after we get past that, we realized that the power tubes are bad.
Right.
So, we've had a bad batch of these. So, I'm going on the record saying we've had a very bad batch, and it's out there in the world, and we're going to see lots of this. So,
That stinks.
unfortunately, this is the truth. But we'll take care of you. But we have choices here. So we either have to replace the tubes with the same brand of tubes with the same rating, which is a possibility, but it also is possible that these tubes
Could be screwed
will
up.
be
They're not really
bad
rated.
also.
They're not really rated.
Believe me,
appropriately.
I beat the hell out of them. Or we can use a different brand of tubes, but that means we have to bias your amp differently. So the tubes have no relation to each other. So we don't have like a bias point for any. If it's JJ tube versus a TAD tube, a Chinese tube, we have no relation bias point. So if we have to use a JJ tube, then we have to have your amp bias. So I mean,
So it's a nightmare for you because it's like, right, you're dealing with
fucking nightmare.
because you're dealing with
Exactly.
these manufacturers from overseas making these tubes, and they like you might get a 3 or 4 month stretch, correct me if I'm wrong, where everything's working hunky dory, and all of a sudden
then
the
boom,
shit hits the
pop.
fan, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, after 3
And that-
months, it's not our problem anymore.
That's true.
That is our initial. You know what I gotta say.
So I'll
though,
tell this. I okay, go ahead.
I mean, I
was
have
gonna
to
say
say, I
something to
mean,
help
like,
you.
okay, I could say 3 months is our cutoff, but
Right.
you know, if it's 3 months and 2 days, we're gonna honor the warranty. I mean, you know,
Right.
I'm not heartless about it. You know, like I want to make you happy, and I want to make sure you're happy with your product. So, you know, yeah.
But for
Of
people
course.
out there, because you and I have talked about this, Dave, for people out there, if you got a set of power tubes and they're working, and you're like a year in,
Leave it alone.
or a year and a
Don't
half
change
in,
them.
Leave them
leave
alone.
them alone, right?
Don't
Good
change them.
advice.
Don't touch
Solid.
'em.
Right.
Don't change your power tools. If they're working, they sound good to you. Do not decide that it's a good idea to change your power tubes. It's not. It's not a good idea. If they're working and it sounds good, leave it alone.
Right.
These are
Absolutely.
questions probably coming from people
Hands
that
down.
are on tour.
No.
What's that?
Yeah.
What's that, George?
What?
These are probably questions coming from people that are not on tour. Leave
No,
it
even
alone.
if on tour. If your power tubes sound fine and everything works, leave it alone.
Rock it.
Yes.
Yeah. Keep them going for
Rock
as
it.
long as you can.
Fucking
That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a question. Another question here. From Mike Ciselli. He says, there's a naturally occurring condition with tube amps in that they always sound so much better after warming up for a while. Care to geek out and explain why?
It's because
Well,
you've
warming
drank
up-
more at your gig.
Yeah, it could be.
You're warming up. Not
You're warming up, yeah.
You know what? Tubes warm up. You know, they sound better.
Does anything
Actually,
else warm up along
Dave-
with it? Or is, are the capacitors warming up at the same time? Is everything?
I don't
Dave,
know
don't
about
you feel like maybe Class A amps, like maybe?
that. We lost you.
Pete.
You hit something, Pete, on your phone.
We lost Pete.
Uh-oh.
Well, as far as Class A amps go, like you were saying, no. When you first turn a tube amp on and it warms up, it will naturally sound better as it comes into full voltage, shall we say?
But Dave,
I don't think really like. I mean, it warms up a little bit. You play through it for a while. That's a tough one to really like quantify.
Dave, I was just talking to the guys at Three Monkeys because they asked me why I wasn't using their amp in a couple of the gigs, and the Morgan was there, and I explained to them that it was so fucking loud that I couldn't play certain gigs at.
Right.
And they explained to me that the reason it's so loud is that tube, the way that amp circuitry is based, the tube is burning so bright. That is why it is so loud. And maybe I got that wrong in his explanation. They're building me a different one, but maybe that's what that guy was talking about.
Sorry, guys, I lost you there for a minute, but I'm back, I think. Is it working?
Yeah. You're good.
Okay.
You're good. And we were talking about the Class A amp that you were asking about.
Oh, I was just saying that I remember Marc Goldenberg, a great guitar player, a friend of mine, saying like, AC30 or Matchless, he's such a great guitar player. And he was like, yeah, I remember him always saying this, like, yeah, you turn on the amp an hour and a half later, it's like, who turned on the fuzz box? Like the amp gets to a point where,
Well, the tubes warm up and it changes a little bit, but
specifically a Class A kind of thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Interesting.
It's hard to quantify,
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me go back to see if there's any other questions. Someone says, "Who's next to go pee?"
George, maybe. No, George, what?
I think it's me. I'm next, but I'll just wait till after we get done.
I hope people have got a lot out of this,
Exactly. It's a lot of learning.
Well,
Actually, we actually did get a question. My battery.
We're
died.
all kind of old, so we got to pee a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Consider the age.
Speak for yourself.
Consider the age.
Yeah, of the prostate.
Wait, consider the age of what?
Yeah,
Pete's the youngest.
The prostate. It's a collective.
Yeah.
There's a collective 250-year-old prostate situation going here.
We got a question from Dave Nesdall, by the way. He wants to know, Pete, if we can get a look at your Sunburst Sur Standard with the Floyd Rose on it. I don't know if you have that near or with you or.
Yeah,
he
I might
does have it near.
Yeah, here, I'll go get it.
Go get it.
Cool.
Right, I'll be right back.
Sweet.
What else we got? Come on, give us questions, guys.
Yeah, let's see what else.
We're dying here.
We're dying here. I think we're doing fine. Let's see. No, I don't see any other questions.
Give us good questions. Come on.
What is the best? Okay, here. What is the easiest, best way to bias your own amp?
Oh, that's a
the easiest and best way? You know what? That is hard to answer. You want a bias probe of some sort. You know what? Just email me, friedmanamps@gmail.com, and I will tell you.
What's that about a probe?
Okay? It'd be a lot easier than explaining it right now. Just email me, friedmanamps@gmail.com, and you got it. I'll tell you all you want to know about it and what to buy.
Sweet. I'll be reaching out to you, Dave. That's fun.
I can totally teach you, Mark.
Yeah, we'll have to do a Skype session there.
No, it's so easy. It's not really that hard. So.
That's cool.
But
All right.
You do get the advantage of
knowing you,
the possibility of electrocuting.
That's a big advantage. Listen, it's worked wonders for me.
Yes.
It's worked wonders for me.
Right, let's see the guitar, Pete. Let's see it.
There it is.
That's
so
cool.
yeah. I put a Floyd on it.
Well, not exactly a Floyd. A Floyd.
No. It's exactly a Floyd. What do you mean?
Well, I mean,
It's not exactly a Floyd.
Non-fine tuner Floyd.
Fine tuner Floyd.
So check this shit out. I mean, I don't know if I can set the phone up or not, but it's literally like, well, you're not going to be able to hear this probably, but
We can hear it.
you can hear it? Okay,
Yeah.
check this out. Strings are all the way slack. It comes back perfectly in tune. So there's no lock nut on this guitar. It's a, you know, like
you have
that.
locking tuners.
It's a locking tuners, you know, regular nut on this guitar, and it's a not. And this guitar, I can barely make it go out of tune.
Wow.
I mean, it's incredible. So this was a John Suhr suggestion. You know, because I was having some issues with the vintage style bridge, and you know, there's going to be people that always want the vintage style bridge. They're not going to want to change. But with this guy, I went to this bridge, and you know, he did mention that he had to spend some time polishing sharpening the knife edges on this particular bridge, because I guess you can get them in stock. They can be a little dodgy, the knife edges. So he spent some time on the knife edges, like making them. This is John Suhr I'm talking about, you know, sharpening the edges. And the bridge, I mean, I can't, like I said, it's just phenomenal. I mean, I can barely make this thing go out of tune. So I love it, actually. It's really great.
That's awesome.
And yeah, now you've got the you know, you got to, you know, do the, obviously the locking the strings into the saddles thing, which is a bit of a pain, and all the things that go along with a Floyd. But I grew up with a Floyd. Like I said, like the guitar Dave has hanging on the wall back there, the Pacer, I had that guitar. I had a Hamer with a Floyd. I had Jackson with a Floyd, which I actually have here in this building as well right now. But I got in 1986, long time ago. But
wow.
but you know, I grew up kind of playing the Floyds, and it's like it's just real comfortable for me. So it's kind of fun to have this one without the added sort of pain of having the lock nut, and still
Pete,
have
is
it.
that float? Does it?
Yeah, it floats.
Up or no?
Yeah, it's floating. It's floating. They back routed it. It's actually routed a bit more than I wanted it to be, to tell you the truth, but it's great. I'm totally happy with it. It was an experiment on this guitar. I just wanted to try one. And
How many pitch up? Just half a semitone?
How far will it go?
Yeah.
Oh, it'll go as far. It's back routed like a.
Oh,
like,
okay.
You know, I can make it go like a major. Yeah, I can make it go major third if I want. The interesting thing though is I find with Floyd sometimes they flutter. Like they'll do the fluttering thing when you. This one doesn't actually flutter too bad. It's cool. So it's like it's pretty solid.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is that an older, sir? Is that an older guitar?
Well, at this point it is. Yeah. I guess I got this guitar probably around 2000.
Yeah.
Probably 2010 or 9 or something.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah. So it's borderline 8-9 years old at this point. It's been through a lot of changes too, with pickups and different things. But
yeah, he dropped it on the ground.
What's that? Oh, I dropped it on the ground.
Dropped
Yeah. So I was going into the LA Amp show, and I had the gig bag in the back seat of my car, and I put the gig bag on when I got out. You know, I pulled the guitar out of the back seat, and to go into the show, and I felt the weight of the bag shift, and I thought, that's weird. I remember that going through my head, like, what's up with that? And then I heard this amazing sound.
Oh.
And that was the guitar, and you can see the bout of the guitar here and stuff got like completely, you know. So it's relic.
Wow, let's see that. Wait, I want to see that. Yeah.
I forgot to zip the bag. You know.
Wait, can you?
We can't see it still.
Yeah, I can't see it. Put the
You can't
phone-
see it?
No. You got to move the phone a little
Wait,
bit.
wait,
Oh,
wait.
wow. Yeah, that's a serious thing. Wow.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Up. So we can
Up.
see.
Like that. I
Yeah.
can't really
There
tell.
we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It got
Yeah.
seriously screwed up.
Were you
But-
were you totally bummed out?
No, I was like, oh, cool, relic. Awesome. I put it
It
I put
happened.
it back in the bag and went inside, and it's like, you know what? It's a great guitar. It's such a good guitar, and it wasn't even really out of tune. I mean, it knocked the high E string out of tune a little bit, but it hit the concrete. I mean, it bounced on the pavement. It makes an amazing sound when you bounce a guitar on the pavement. You know?
You beat up.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and but it's such a good guitar. You know, it just doesn't matter because it was that. You know, the funny thing is, it's a classic with lacquer, so it's lacquer paint, and it had checked a few weeks after I got it. I was on tour with Melissa Etheridge, and I was probably, I think it was winter, and so I had it in the cold, and then I noticed the finish had kind of checked and cracked. It was like, oh, it's already getting old anyway, so it was cool, you know.
That's cool. You added some character to it. You got a story.
So I put a thornbucker in the bridge recently, and got the Floyd on it, and I love it.
That's sweet. Now your signature guitar that you have, Sir, that doesn't have a Floyd on it, right? That's a vintage
It doesn't.
style.
So it's a regular 510, which is like, you know, preferable to a lot of people, probably for a lot of reasons, you know. So it's a bit of, you know, it's always a catch-22. It's like with the vintage trim, you've of course got the tone of the vintage trim, you've got the ease of stringing through the back, and it's a there's advantages and disadvantages to everything. With this one, of course, you got to have the Allen wrench to lock the strings. So, you know, it's like, it's always a, you know, but if you set up those vintage style trims, right, like a 510 or something, you can get them to stay in tune pretty good too and stuff. And they're just easier, I guess, you know.
Yeah. So, it's more accessible to a lot of people.
More accessible.
Yeah, the Floyd just scares the crap out of people for some reason.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of your signature, man. It's beautiful guitar.
Oh, thanks, man.
It really is. Like when I saw it at the NAMM show for the first time, and recently you showed your gold top. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, the gold's beautiful. It's such a good guitar, you know. I don't actually have the gold one here right now. I have a black one here, but you know, the guitar is. It's funny because I made a video for it the other day, and I had to solidify, like out at SUR, and I had to kind of solidify my feelings on the guitar, exactly what we were going for. And what I realized was I was trying to kind of come up with a guitar that, well, first of all, from a sort of a player's perspective and a practical perspective, it was like the double humbucker thing, but with lots of switching options and stuff. I wanted to have one guitar that you could kind of play all night without having to, you know, switch to another guitar. You know, you'd be able to get all your tones and everything was in there, you know, in the one guitar. Plenty of versatility, plenty of switching options, you know, and that kind of thing. And then also, which I actually did last year, I was on tour with French artist Michel Polnareff, and I ended up playing that guitar as my only electric on stage for the whole night. You know, on anything other than an acoustic song, I was playing that guitar. So it worked. And then on top of that, aesthetically, what I realized is that as guitar players, we're kind of creatures of habit. We love the classic designs and all that stuff, but we also like to be unique. You know, we like to have like something that not everybody on the block has. And so, like, for instance, when you see the gold top guitar, it's unique. You know, it's like a gold top. It's that, you know, it's the SUR standard shape, but so it's reminiscent of the classic kind of S-style guitar or whatever. But with the kind of 57 gold top aesthetic, it's something you've never really maybe seen before, or that often before anyway. It's kind of unique, but yet it's super familiar, you know? So it's trying to tie all that stuff together. So it's not pushing a guitar player too far outside of the comfort zone, giving them something that's aesthetically pleasing, that's sort of familiar, but also yet nobody on the block's got one, you know, until they do. Like, you know what I mean? You know, if
you guys out there want to really see these in action, follow Pete and follow John Shanks, because he's using them on the road with Bon Jovi, and he's got quite a few beautiful ones.
Oh yeah, I didn't know John was using them. That's cool.
Yeah, John's been a big support. He actually got the one off the wall from the NAMM show. He wanted one, and they called me and they said, "What do you want to do with these NAMM show guitars?" And they said, you know, do you want to get them? And John's actually really wants to get one, so we can build another. I said, send that out to John if he wants to go on tour and use the guitar, you know. And he did, and John's a great guy, and he's a wonderful guitar player, and so he's
just got some unique colors too, right?
It's just so it's the black with the kind of the red back, and the gold top is a sort of 57 gold top aesthetic. With the black, what I was thinking was really like I had seen, to tell the truth, I had seen a 57 black custom shop, single cut guitar that kind of had a similar aesthetic, and I was inspired by that, but I wanted the back to be even more red, and kind of what I was thinking was kind of like, somebody that's kind of like if you wore a tuxedo but you had red Converse on, like, you know what I mean, like classy but rock and roll, like understated, classy but with a bit of an edge, So that was the inspiration.
Now, is your is it coil tapped when you were talking about different tones that you can get at?
Yeah, so you can't get the bridge pickup coil tapped by itself, but you can get the two humbuckers coil tapped with the inside two coils. You can get the neck pickup coil tapped if you want. Otherwise, it's the three standard humbucking positions, but there's a series parallel switch as well in the tone knob. So if you pull the tone knob, it puts the bridge pickup into parallel, and you can get that quasi single coil thing in the bridge, but yet it's still hum canceling.
Right. So, right. Oh, that's cool.
Really versatile.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That's very cool.
So isn't that the Jimmy Page wiring, the supposed Jimmy Page wiring?
Well, probably to some degree. I think he probably in the Les Pauls he can also get the neck pickup in parallel, which I can't actually do on mine. But yeah, like Shanks, who's a huge Page fan, he really likes it. Like he's like, this is great when you pull the thing to get the bridge pick in parallel. So yeah, it's a really useful tone. So
very cool. So Mully says, "Uh-oh, Dave is wiping his eyes. He has passed the point."
I'm done.
Is that it? We gotta go. It's getting started.
Dude, we've done already like hours.
His day is over. It's done. So we got to.
What happened there?
Maybe we can end on this question.
Okay.
We've got what are your favorite pieces of gear that are other people's signature equipment?
Oh, that's a great question, actually.
Oh, that's good.
What's that?
You want one of your
a cider? No, I'm cool. I'm good. I'm drunk enough. Thank you. Thank you, George. That's a really good question. Other people's favorite, like other signature gear that's really good.
Yeah, like your favorite signature gear from other artists. And that was asked by Lettars, Lettars.
I'll tell you what, I had an EVH 5153 amp that I took on the road with Chris Cornell when in 2007 I got one, late 2007. And I had it in time to go for our South American tour, I remember. And I love that thing. It was a really, really good amp. I used it mainly on the blue channel, and it sounded terrific to me. So that was a nice piece of gear.
Is that for the first one that was released?
The very first version? One.
Yeah.
The 606. I had a black head, and it was that amp sounded actually really terrific to me. I remember going to the Guitar Center in Hollywood and trying it, and mainly on that blue channel going, wow, it sounds... That's actually the one you see, I did that How to Play Eruption video.
Yep.
That's the one in that video. That's how I got that.
And it sounded awesome.
Yeah, it was a great sounding amplifier. So that was really fun for me. And then I got to give it up to, as far as signature gear, probably the most successful piece of signature gear ever created is the Steve Vai Gem guitar. Give me a break. That guy's had that guitar going since 1986. Beyond Les Paul, there ain't nobody that's had something for 30 years,
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
Yeah, totally.
What an incredible, run. And they're still putting them out and coming up with new ones. So
yeah, they just had the 30th anniversary, right?
That's right.
Yep.
It's incredible. What an amazing, long.
One of the new signatures that's really catching my eye, and I know you own one of the early models, Pete, but that the new Steve Stevens
those nags,
they're
gorgeous.
ones that they're doing right now, the natural finish ones, those are pretty beautiful.
They are beautiful,
absolutely.
Man, I have one. I'm gonna go get mine right now because I have one here. So
yeah,
I'll go get it. I'll go get it.
Those Nags guitars are gorgeous, and specifically the Steve Stevens models are really, really nice. I'd love to have them. They're pricey, but they're nice.
Yeah. His newer ones that they're doing, where it's just the old vintage stuff like the gold top or the Black Beauty that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they're not doing them in multiple numbers. They're just doing a couple. But man, when they post it on Guitar Guru Network, I'm like, Jesus, those are beautiful.
Yeah, some of those guitars. Yeah, they posted one recently, which was like kind of a bluish quilt or something. It was just gorgeous. I was loving it. Really nice. I don't, but unfortunately, they don't make lefty.
He's looking for his keys right now.
What's he doing?
Buddy in here?
Yep. Look for his keys.
There you go.
Oh, good. He found them. Well, he's not driving. No one's driving.
No one's driving.
No, my wife's picking me up.
All right, so we just want to get that straight out to everybody. No one's driving.
No.
Yeah, no.
Why would
That's a very good thing.
Change the subject.
Go ahead.
Tiger Woods just got arrested for a DUI. Why would you get arrested nowadays for a DUI?
Yeah,
It was his amount of money.
Get a lift.
exactly.
Get a lift.
Get an Uber.
Uber,
Lyft.
Lyft, something.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's just,
Yeah. He's got enough money, he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
It's true. It just makes no sense to me whatsoever.
God. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
It's it's just not thinking. It's not.
I just had this conversation with my dad. It's like, it just makes no sense. I mean, there's so many options nowadays. 30
Get a
years ago,
driver. Drive you everywhere.
Yeah, there's too many options today for that to happen. So go ahead, Pete.
Okay, so here's the nags.
Oh, that's so hot.
It is hot. And, I was going on tour in Japan with Tsuyoshi Nagabuchi, and he loves kind of stuff that's, like this. It's got a flash to it that's really rad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not, so it's a really beautiful guitar, a rock and roll kind of machine. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, or I'm going to try and show this, but this guitar has a tuner in the pickup. Okay,
Oh, wow.
you see that?
Yeah, can you move the phone a little bit?
No,
closer?
yeah, move the phone a little bit.
There you go. Oh,
Wow.
that's-
See that?
that's-
So it's a tuner in the pickup.
Yeah.
range. It's incredible. So how cool is that?
That's only to nags, or is that something you can buy off market?
No, it's off market too.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know who makes them, but that to me was so badass that you could actually be way far away from the stage on the ramp or something on a big stage, and actually still tune. So it's super cool. So I used this guitar a ton in 2015 on tour with Tsuyoshi. And,
I just watched the video of you playing that guitar at the store in Japan.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's right. I went.
with Jason McNair.
Yeah. The Ishibashi store, maybe, and I think that's the name of it.
The Ishibashi.
Yeah.
Which is incredible, by the way. If you ever go to Tokyo, it's a bit hard to find, but once you find it,
Dude, it's so amazing.
it's so amazing. Yeah, because Tokyo. So right, George, the Tokyo guitar stores are like, Chanamizu's incredible, but then Shibuya also. It's like.
Okay, I hope I don't get in trouble for this.
Yeah.
But this is what I did. My tech had been telling me about these stores for a long time, and I had been to Japan, but I didn't. By this time, I had been there maybe 3-4 times. Never been to this fucking famous guitar store row.
Right.
And so my Mike Wilson told me, "Hey man, I'm gonna take 3 guitars out of your trunk because we're gonna go to Japan and we're going shopping." And so we went. And the one thing that I bought while I was there are illegal here.
What were they?
Edwards guitars.
Oh yeah, those are amazing though. They're the ESP. They're made by ESP, right?
Yes. Yeah, but they lost the lawsuit with Gibson, and now they're illegal in the United States. So at that time, I bought the Jimmy Page version.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Yeah.
But I bought it there, and I put them in my trunks, and yes, I smuggled them into the United States.
Yeah, but they're
so
cool.
I don't get in trouble. I smuggled the TV yellow guitar, which is
Oh.
amazing, and the Jimmy Page one into the United States, and that's the first time I went to that store.
I'm sure that
I totally know, because you see shit there you can't get here. And
No,
John,
you get it.
what about John
No,
Sykes?
it's fucking like,
You know,
yeah.
the John Sykes version. You know, so cool.
Yeah.
that's great. That's funny, George.
You got to improvise and get it here.
Yeah. So Dave, you know, you had Akira here in the store from Loudness doing.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Because he plays the Friedman amps, of course. But you know, Akira in Japan, of course, is like that's like the equivalent
Massive.
of like he's their Eddie Van Halen. You know, so
Eddie Van
you
Halen,
can-
yeah.
That
so you
dude
go.
is Godzilla in Japan.
What's
Wow.
that?
Great. That dude is Godzilla in Japan.
That's right. Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
So you go in the guitar stores there, and they've got like literally like his guitars, his killer guitars. You know, there'll be like a massive display of like a wall of these guitars, like, and it's so cool. You know, it's like
And you don't even see them here in the United States at all.
No,
you don't see them. Yeah, that's an amazing thing. You know, you go there. Not only, I'll tell you what. So just on that note. Like about music in general, there's still a 5-floor, and I actually put a video up on YouTube about this, but it's about, if you search on my channel, you'll find it. It's about Tower Records in Shibuya. There's a 5-story Tower Records.
It's amazing.
There's a 5-story toy store there too.
That's right. That's Kittyland. Yeah, you're right. And it ain't far actually from where the Tower Records is. But
it's amazing.
Yeah, the Tower Records is like, so you have a whole floor of classical, a whole floor of jazz, and an entire floor of like classic rock and roll or whatever. And you go up there and it'd be like a whole Led Zeppelin display with LPs and like a giant inflatable Zeppelin and like the whole deal. And it's like, it's hard to explain, but go check it out on my channel. It's like
I bought
video
the
I made.
whole Grant Green collection on CD, like every single damn record he ever did on CD in that store.
Yeah.
And they
it's
don't.
incredible.
You can't get them here. And if you actually go online on YouTube on iTunes, here's the thing about what I hate about iTunes, and I love it. I love technology and everything. I'm a big gear nerd. But there's certain records you can't get, and people don't know about it. And unless you do the research, you don't know that there's so many records you don't get that they're only letting you hear the ones that they want to sell. And there's all this amazing things that you never heard before. And unless we're living in a world where you can't go into a record store and be like, oh my God, I've never seen that. I just went.
Yeah.
I just went to go see Robin Trower on a couple I think 2 Sundays ago, or last Sunday at the Wiltern. It's a thing that me and my dad and my uncle have done for many years, and we hadn't done it for many years. I got to see Stevie Ray with my uncle and my dad 5 times, which is
amazing.
Wow, yeah. That's great.
And so we would do it every year. We would pick one guitar show to go to, and for many years, while he was alive, it was Stevie Ray. So I redid that tradition by going to go see Robin Trower at the Wiltern when he was here. I think it was 2 Sundays ago. I'm not sure what the exact date was.
Yeah. How was the show? Was he great?
Oh my God, dude, his tone he's still rocking the same thing.
That's great.
Just plexis turned up, 3-piece. It's so dope. It's so dope. It's just exactly what you want him to do, and he hasn't changed a bit. And you're obviously looking at a close to 80-year-old man on stage, but he's
amazing.
Yeah,
he's not.
Amazing.
He hasn't lost his
still
chops.
there.
He hasn't lost his chops. His chops are still there. Like I went to go see BB tours right before he died with Derek Trucks, and he wasn't playing anymore. I went to go see Johnny Winter right before he died. He wasn't playing anymore. Robin Trower is destroying fools still on stage. It's amazing. It's amazing. So just to finish my point, I really loved what the bass player was doing that night. He was really singing that old stuff great. And so I did some research, and I figured out that there was a record that he sang all the songs that's not on iTunes, and so I had to order it from Amazon. And that's the bad thing about iTunes, is that not the whole catalog is there, and there are certain things that are missing. That's like, dude, that's a cool piece of his history, even though that record's not that great, but it doesn't matter.
It should be available at least.
It should be available because for someone like me that's like actually digging into the history, you're missing a whole part that it sucks. And if you go to Japan, that's all there. Like you literally can get the whole catalog.
Literally, like take a pilgrimage to Tower Records in Shibuya, and if you ever go to Japan, it's not only for guitar stores. I mean, I bought my old Telly there. You know, I bought it at oh God, I'm gonna forget the name of it. Okay, if anybody goes to Japan, Hyper Guitars in Shibuya. In Shinjuku. Hyper Guitars in Shinjuku. Holy shit. Like,
it's
just
amazing.
Go in there. There's a wall of gold tops. Okay? Yeah. There's a wall of red 335s, 345s, 355s, all 60. You know, it's like a wall of custom color Strats. Like,
and how about the crazy,
like, what?
The crazy Japanese guitars that they don't make here, like the Yamaha models that they didn't make here.
So upstairs. Upstairs. Come on, Dave. Hang in there.
I'm dying here.
Dave, look at this. I'm still drinking. No, upstairs, literally upstairs from Hyper Guitars in Shinjuku. There's a store, literally upstairs. It's above it that sells all that stuff. All those old Japanese guitars,
Japanese stuff,
Tiescos and the whatever the original Fernandez,
the Santana Yamaha that he played in the fucking 60s.
It's so rad. So but I bought my guitar and I want to remember the name so bad right now and I can't remember the fucking name of the store, but it was in Daikanyama. I can't remember. Dave, come on.
What? I mean, little did he know he was getting on a chat with two bigger nerds than he is.
Exactly. Wait, I knew about this.
And the funny thing is, normally it's Dave who's saying to me, "Come on, Mark, you can keep going. You can
keep going." I'm like going, yeah, but hey, guys, wait a minute. It's already at 9:30.
9:30. Oh God!
Jesus Christ!
Oh my God!
We're going 3 hours. This is 3 hours.
No, we've already been at it for as long as we've always done it.
You know what the difference?
We never fucking What?
Dave, you know what the only difference is right now?
What?
Is that you had the tequila bottle in there. You were the police of the tequila bottle.
I had no more than you. No, I didn't.
Look at me. I'm Canadian. I'm jumping around. I can do fucking jumping jacks in here right now.
Woo!
I'm solid. Canada. Woo!
He's holding his liquor. He's holding it.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
Do we have any listeners left?
Guys, we actually
we get more listeners this way.
We've got 55 people watching right
Damn. We actually gained more. We gained more.
But you guys got anything better to do? What are you guys doing tonight?
Oh my God. Well,
bunch of single dudes.
We should probably wrap up.
I have to say this. Cheers to actually having the privilege of knowing Dave, being able to do this for a living.
It's true.
And we're actually this is what we do. It's a privilege. It really is.
Absolutely.
Well, thank
you,
it is
a privilege.
Cheers anymore, so.
I'm done.
Dave's a great friend. Dave's a great friend to all of us, and he's so helpful. And he fucking lives and breathes guitar tone. He is. He really lives and breathes guitar tone, and his heart is in the right place. He's always striving for better tone and better. He loves guitar, so it's like he's such a good dude.
Cheers to Dave.
Thank you, Pete.
Cheers to Dave.
Yeah.
There's
a
lot of guitar amps out there.
Mark, you're really slacking with just the beer.
Yes, it's true. I've been milking it for 3 hours. I know.
You've been milking a beer for 3 hours.
I know. I'm only half of it.
Let me tell you, You're in trouble in Nashville.
I know.
Oh man.
It's gonna be a party. That's for sure. That's
We're
great.
gonna get Marc where he can't speak anymore.
Oh,
There's a
That'll happen.
there's a little rumor that Dave's trying to get us to go out there. So if I come out there, if that happens, you're really in trouble.
Let's not. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a rumor that maybe.
well, I'm heading out there, so we'll have.
I have no doubt. Marc's coming out though.
Yeah,
Nashville's fun. I like Nashville.
yeah.
Nashville's amazing. Nashville's amazing.
Definitely
It's
looking
good
forward to
scene
it.
now out there. It's good times out there. The last time I was in Nashville, I was like, I finally felt like I got it. Like it was like, oh, I could actually live here. I always thought it was
but then there's. Actually, I can't go into it. No.
Oh, come on. Go ahead.
There's a problem with Nashville.
What? Go.
I can't go there.
Come on. Just skirt the surface.
I can't do it.
Skirt the surface.
I can't do it. I'm not overly religious, so let's just do
Bible Belt.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a Bible Belt for sure. And nothing against that.
No, not at all.
No problems with that whatsoever. But I'm not overly religious, so let's just leave it at that.
There we go.
You've got to be a part of the scene to be a part of the scene. It's true. In Nashville,
yeah, and it's okay. It's
totally.
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine.
Hey,
But
Pete.
we live in North Hollywood.
Yeah.
We live in North Hollywood, which is not an overly religious state.
No,
Not even a state.
No. Let's start there.
That's
And it's
Pete, have you
surely
ever
not
recorded at
controlled
Blackboard?
by our president. But
oh,
Oh,
back
shit.
to that again.
We're going
ketchup
back.
on the steak. You got the ketchup on the steak.
Did you say
let's talk about our
Kofefe?
president.
Kofefe. Yeah.
Kofefe. You just said it.
Well, Sean Spicer says that it's clearly a word that the president and other people know what it means. So, just saying.
No one else knows.
No.
Wow.
So Kofefe.
Yeah. Although someone wrote recently this morning that it was an Arabic word to stand up. That's what they said.
I like that.
So, who knows? All right. I think we should probably wrap it because they think Dave.
Oh, Jesus.
Before it goes way off the deep end.
But hey, I want to make sure that people know how to reach you. George, so we just have your latest single that just came out, A6 from Cairo Knife Fight. Check out the video. And
Thank you.
And the album's coming out when?
Hey, wait a minute. I think I just heard you slur, dude. Even though it's just the beer.
Me?
You said Cairo Knife Fight.
Did I?
All right.
Not me.
You are on the East Coast, right? Where are you? You're
I'm
like
on the
in
East
Florida.
Coast.
Sure, I wasn't saying
It's
that.
just getting late. It's getting late.
Yeah, it's getting late. Cairo Knife Fight.
Cairo Knife Fight.
He's got a new album.
Cairo, yes, the Cairo Knife Fight. Exactly. So
I'm
check
such a
out.
bastard. I'm sorry. I don't mean to give you a hard time.
Check out George with A6 and the Cairo Knife Fight.
To answer your question,
Yes.
I'm actually not going to release the album until we do probably 2 or 3 singles before we release the album, because I have a lot of ideas for videos that are really, really cool that are all going to tie in later. And it's going to be a small little film. Like we're doing this shit old school. Like we're not doing this the way they're doing it now. We're
good.
We're actually have concepts, and so it's all you're going to be able to. I think by the 3rd single or 4th, maybe that's when we'll release the album, and then you can buy all of them. But it's all connected. We're using the same actress, the same director for everything. And so you'll see. It'll make sense later.
It's a concept. You got a whole plan.
Yes.
A concept.
Hell
That's
yeah.
great.
I'm 10 years. I'm thinking about this 10 years down the line.
Cool.
If you don't do that,
Great, George.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's awesome.
Very cool. And Pete, people can reach you on your channel and see your stuff at Pete Thorn on YouTube and buy your music. And so you just came out with a single recently, right?
Yeah, it's great, by the way.
Yeah, it was very
Oh,
good.
thanks, man. I did, you know, quite honestly, it was it's kind of an interesting company called DistroKid, and distrokid.com. It's like they'll upload, you know, your music for you and get it out there on iTunes and Spotify and wherever else you want to distribute it to. So they approached me to possibly make a video for them, say, hey, can you talk about our company? And I said, you know, the thing about it is they don't actually take a cut of your music, which is super cool.
Great. That's great.
Yeah, you basically pay a yearly fee to be like a subscription fee to be part of their service, and then they'll upload your music and distribute it out to all those, you know, digital distribution sites. So I was like, that sounds really cool. And not only do they do that, but they get it up within 24 hours on like a lot of sites, which is like really friggin' amazing, like on iTunes and stuff. And it actually, so I said, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. So I did a video for this Headrush pedal board unit, and I thought, the song sounds good. Let's try DistroKid. And I uploaded it through DistroKid, and it was on iTunes within 24 hours. So I'm going to make a video for them eventually, but I want to get a bit of backstory going first and upload a few tracks to them and stuff, and then talk a bit about their company. But I was really impressed. So, you know, this is like a kind of like a, they're not giving me anything to say this. Is kind of, I got no stake in this, but it is a cool, like, alternative to, you know, TuneCore or CD Baby or the different things, you know, that you can do to get your music out there. So,
can I chime in here real quick?
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to say this earlier and I didn't. And look, Pete, what you're doing, and I know you have a lot of followers, and it's what you're doing is you're taking this whole medium to another level, and I thank you for that, because you're doing it in a level that's like when you play what you play and you demo those pedals the way you demo, it actually works, and we can actually hear it work in the way that it's in real life situations, and it's wonderful. And one of the, like, even for me, when I was concepting Cairo Knife Fight's pedal board, I watched one of your videos where Dave built your board, that you had the effects loops coming in, and someone was going in on the front of the amp, someone was going in the back, and that inspired me to think outside of the box in that way. And so kudos to you doing this, because you're raising the bar of how everyone can learn about this whole thing in a wonderful way.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate you saying that. It means a lot. It's just, you know, it's fun. I don't feel any different than I was when I was 14 or 15, just geeking out on gear. And now we got this YouTube. You know, honestly, we got this YouTube thing.
Now,
yeah. You know, it's great, right? I mean, it's like it's
wonderful.
You know,
yeah,
you know, it's really.
You got a great platform. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is a platform to kind of like, and I was like, this is fun, you know, making these videos. The fun thing for me has been writing the songs for the videos and stuff. It's like, I don't, it's not that I don't take it seriously, but when it's a song for a pedal, it's like, okay, you're not putting in a record. It's not like the oh my God, there's this pressure on, like I have to make this artistic statement. It's like, okay, this is a really cool sounding fuzz pedal. Let's see what kind of riff I can come up with, and like come up with the, you know.
Yeah, like the new fuzz pedal for us.
Yeah.
Right. Your fuzz video. Yeah, I just put that up today or yesterday, you know? So it's like, it's fun because it's like, then you don't edit yourself so much, you know? And then maybe you come up with like more free stuff, because it's like freeing is what I mean. Like, you're not thinking too much about it, which then you can come up with maybe your most honest, you know, riffs. So it's been a really fun way to come up with music and just have fun, and, you know, not.
But it's the way you're doing is reciprocal. It's honest, and the pedal's inspiring you to create these riffs, and it's going back and forth, which is just fucking cool.
Yeah.
So George, let me ask you, but before we go, just really quick, I have to say that for a second, because I feel like when I go out and play gigs, like I've had this thing recently where I've realized so much that playing guitar and playing in these bands we play in and stuff, going out playing, it's not like, I don't feel like some sort of like, oh, I'm the guitar player in the band and then the crowd's down there. It's a reciprocal thing. And I feel the same thing with the YouTube thing. Like, you play something, people respond, and it's a big cyclical effect of like, Like everybody's involved, including the pedal manufacturer. Dave's yawning. Including the pedal manufacturer. And, you know what I mean? It's like it's a kind of a it's.
I don't mean to yawn on you.
No, it's okay.
It wasn't your story.
I really,
You know what?
Pete, I really think that we're actually in witnessing and being a part of a whole changing of mediums. Like as guitar players, as crazy as this sounds, but I've done gigs recently where people aren't there to see me; they're there to see the rig that Dave built. You know,
Right.
And
Right.
and there's been people there with cameras and like they just want to hear me turn the amps off a fucking bypass and just hit a fucking note. And that's just changing everything. It's everything. Exactly what you just said is people are responding differently to what you do on the internet, and that's changing how you actually are out there on stage too, because they know more about you now. They're actually more personal with you than they ever have been in your whole life. There was a time when you were going out there and you were just the guitar player in the band that maybe they didn't even know your name. Now they have a personal connection with you and they're going there to see you. Maybe not even the artist they're actually paying for.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's cool.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It is cool. It is cool. Yeah, it's super cool.
There's a lot of positive stuff about this platform that you have, you know.
Fuck, why didn't we start talking about this about 3 hours ago?
All right, well, yeah.
Because we were talking about meat.
We were talking about meat, yeah, exactly. And
We're about 3 hours or plus in now. So.
Camel milk.
Okay, Dave's got to get home.
Yeah, all right.
Got to get Dave home.
Well, guys, it was a fantastic night. I know we started a little rocky with some technical issues, but it was awesome. Thank you, guys. Pete, Thorn, thank you for joining. George Pajon Jr., thank you for joining. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
And Dave, any final thoughts? And I'm just putting him on the spot just because I want
to. Dave, talk us out.
Time to go home. Time to go home.
All right, you guys hang on. I'm going to hang up.
Long day.
Everybody have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. All the people.
All right, rock and roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, you guys hang on. I'm going to end the broadcast. Have a great night, everybody. And we'll be back, Tone Talk. We'll be back in a couple weeks. We'll let you know where we're going to be. All right, take care, guys.